Dr.
How
Chris.
you going? I'm guessing this is Millie.
It is.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Chris is at Bondi Beach, meeting little pug Millie for the first time.
Is that
It is.
what you're worried about?
It is.
It's quite something, isn't it?
It's huge.
Fiona and her son Brandon are desperate to get help for Millie's overly long tongue.
It's like that all the time. Yeah, it never goes inside her mouth.
Millie really stands out to me as being one of the most unique cases I've seen for two main reasons. First of all, it's the length of her tongue. But secondly, it's the fact she really can't pull that tongue back in. And that's what's got me confused. I mean, with pugs, the challenge is the fact that their face is already quite flat.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot that needs to fit inside a very small mouth.
Yes.
But it's too long for her normal functioning.
She was about 12 months of age when it started to come out, and it's just gotten longer and longer. When I take Millie to the park, her tongue will drag on the ground and becomes dirty.
I'm a little bit concerned because we are starting to see the signs of the fact that tongue's never really been inside her mouth.
Yeah, it does get dry.
Yeah, I mean, the end of it there is quite cracked. And also a bit swollen too. You've got to remember that dogs can't sweat, so the only way for them to really effectively cool themselves down is through panting. And a black pug like her needs to pant a lot just to keep cool. If she can't pant normally, she's at risk of heat stroke, which could kill her. She may not have been just purely born this way. There may have been something that's happened to her, or some other problem that's forcing that tongue out.
Okay.
Chris wants to try and get a closer look inside Millie's mouth to find out the cause of her problem.
Is she normally quite shy around her face?
Yeah, she doesn't like being examined at all. No.
The best way for me to examine inside her mouth is in the vet clinic. So if it's okay, I'd like to meet you guys back there now. We'll have a good look over her and hopefully try to get some steps in place today to turn her life around.
Sounds good.
Each and every day that this problem is left unchecked, that tongue dries out further and it becomes heavier. The heavier it is, the more it pulls out of the mouth, and therefore the longer it gets. We have to act now, and we have to act decisively.
Police services, Pickles. The owners are a bit concerned because he's not walking properly.
Yeah.
And he's been moaning.
Okay. Hey, sweetheart. Can you come out?
6-year-old ragdoll cat Pickles has been rushed into the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH with some distressing symptoms.
He's not really moving his legs very well. There's a bit of movement, but they're really weak.
Owner Jenny became concerned when she noticed some worrying signs at home.
He started not moving properly. We noticed that he couldn't jump up onto a ledge. His back legs seemed to be not working.
All right, sweetie.
As soon as I see Pickles, I can tell straight away he's not walking the way he should be, and his meow sounds different. To me, this is pointing to a tick, but it's really out of season, so it would be very unusual to get one at this time of the year, but all his signs are pointing towards that.
The coat is so thick that if he's got a tick, it's not going to be easy to find it.
I'm running my hands through Pickles' fur, and it's something that's making my job very difficult. The longer that tick is left on his skin, the more time it's got to inject that potent toxin into his system.
Okay, I think I found something. Yeah, that's a big one.
There it is, a paralysis tick. Now, this can be deadly for Pickles. He's already showing the signs. I need to get this little creature off as quickly as possible.
Oh, you're a brave boy. He's really stuck in there. Okay, here we go. Got it. That is a big tick. Okay, we got our answer. Let's get him treated.
Okay.
The next step is to give Pickles some tick anti-serum, which is kind of like snake anti-venom. It's going to go into his bloodstream and bind to any of the toxin that's circulating there to prevent him from getting worse.
All right, sweetie.
Up here, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Good girl.
Chris has asked Fiona and her son Brandon to bring Millie into the Bondi clinic for further examination.
The whole idea of bringing Millie in here now is really to have a closer look inside that mouth. All I know at the moment is that tongue is incredibly long, but what I need to work out right now is the cause.
Good girl.
It's quite incredible.
Yeah?
Because her tongue never actually goes back inside her mouth.
Ever. Yeah.
It moves, it can move in and out, but you know, it'll only move maybe an inch or so.
Yeah.
I'm just going to poke and prod her in different places to see if she responds. When I do touch around her eyes, she blinks, but slowly. In fact, she's so slow, she'll let me touch my finger onto her eyeball. That's not normal. All right. So, her heart rate's high, but her heart sounds okay. I mean, there's no nerves.
Good.
There's no irregularities there. It's impossible to know whether Millie at some stage suffered some sort of trauma to the head or maybe even was born with some sort of defect there. The nerves and the muscles aren't firing as they should, which means that everything is slowed down, and it could explain why that tongue pokes out but doesn't come back in. So I'm just going to attach this.
Chris is still anxious to get a closer look inside Millie's mouth.
Yeah.
But the little pug is still resisting.
It's not easy. This is clearly her Achilles heel, and she does not want me going anywhere near it. It's okay, I'm not hurting you. Finally, I can get my throat scope inside Millie's mouth. I don't know if you can see, but her tongue is actually sitting on what is a really thickened, swollen membrane there.
Okay.
That shouldn't really be that size.
Okay. Is that because of the size of the tongue, or?
Well, it's part of it. The other thing is that the more a dog struggles to breathe, and the more forces they're going through the back of that throat that's already small,
Right.
the more things become under stress. We need to take drastic action here, but I'm not sure how they're going to handle what I have in mind to fix this problem. What I'm proposing is we take her up to Sash, and Andrew Marcheski and I will operate on her.
Good.
So we actually need to remove a large portion of that tongue.
Is that the only option?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm scared. I'm scared for Millie, and putting her under an anaesthetic in such a serious operation.
It's not going to be easy, but this will give her the best outcome.
Let's do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared, but let's do it. Yeah.
Kitty, I'm gonna get this tick anti-serum into you. Okay?
At Sash, the poison from a deadly paralysis tick is shutting down Pickles' system. Lisa urgently needs to get life-saving anti-serum into him before he's completely paralysed.
All right, Pickles, we're gonna pop you in the bed now. Okay? That's the way, sweetie.
Animals that have tick paralysis can get worse and quickly, because if that toxin starts to paralyze his breathing muscles in his throat and between his ribs and his diaphragm, then this cat could end up on a ventilator.
All right, Pickles. Hey, you're a good boy.
Lisa now needs to break the news to Pickles' anxious owner Jenny and her kids Jessie and Amy.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
Hi.
We found a pretty big tick on Pickles' back.
Okay.
You want to come and see him?
Yeah.
Come through.
Okay.
They'll be allowed a brief visit to see their beloved pet before he settles down for the night.
He's just through here, having a little rest.
Oh.
Give him a big cuddle.
Hey, sweetie. Hey. Oh, he's still so quiet, isn't he? Look at him.
It's really important that he's monitored quite closely in hospital. They can get worse in the first 24 to 48 hours before they get better. We just got to hope that he doesn't get any worse.
Yeah.
We're also going to then give him a bit more sedation and shave off all his hair. We need to make sure that there are no other ticks hiding there.
Seeing him in the cage like that was actually a bit scary. I think thinking that the tick was out made me think it was all going to be instantly okay, and it's not necessarily, so that's a bit scary. All right, well, I suppose we should leave you to do your magic.
Okay, Mr. Pickles, you're going to stay with us, buddy, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you.
That's no problem, thank you. Jenny clearly adores Pickles. She wants to do whatever it takes to get him through this. She thought, we'll give him the tick anti-serum and he'll be out the door. But when I tell her the news that it's 24 to 48 hours, that he could deteriorate despite us treating him, is terrifying for them.
G'day, Dino.
How are ya?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm Chip. Good to see ya.
You ready to go?
I'm just, starting to unload all the traps for us.
Australian Reptile Park General Manager Tim Faulkner has been called out to the Barrington Tops National Park to check on a project very close to his heart.
This is Devil Ark. It's a conservation breeding project for the endangered Tasmanian devil. Now, it's in response to devil facial tumour disease that has wiped out 90% of the wild population. It's really special to me because I lived here 5 years ago and helped build this entire thing.
We're in M5 today with 4 females and 4 males.
Beautiful. It's home now to 150 endangered Tasmanian devils, and I'm here to help Dean start the pouch checking season when we find out if we've got joeys. Hey, I gotta come in there, pal.
Devil Ark manager Dean has laid the traps with meat to lure the inquisitive devils.
How you feeling, mate? You nervous?
A little nervous, Tim. Yeah.
You should be excited.
Oh, I will be when I see some joeys.
Yeah, you've done everything right. My fingers are crossed. Devil Ark's not like your normal zoo. The smallest pen is 6 football fields inside. It's just like the wild. So to catch the devils, we have to trap them. Hopefully, we get the females and we see their babies, if they have them. Any cheeky ones that like setting off the traps?
You always get a couple. They're quite inquisitive, so they come over the back of them and fail them sometimes. But we hope to get all of them.
Tim and Dean will leave the traps overnight, and the devils are already getting curious.
Little male?
Smell the meat already, though. Hopefully he'll be in the trap before we leave.
Without setting 5 off in the process.
Might watch him for a minute, eh?
We've just set the traps. It's late afternoon, and our first devil, it's a male, he's about to go in. And whilst it's nice to catch him so we can have a look at his health, this is all about the girls. He's not going to go in while we're here.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go. We're hoping in the morning to find all of the females that live in this yard, that we've got them in traps, and that they have joeys. We need happy, healthy devils, and that's a priority, but if we don't have joeys, this isn't a success.
Andrew, how are you, mate?
Chris,
Good to see you. Now, this is Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
And of course,
This is Millie.
the unmistakable
Chris and
Millie.
Fiona have arrived at the Bondi Referral Hospital sash with little pug Millie.
Come on in and we'll have a look.
Yeah, right after you.
Chris wants specialist surgeon Andrew Marchevsky to check out the pug's massively long tongue.
All right. It's dry and horrible, isn't it? Oh, sweet. That can't be very comfortable. Millie's tongue is obviously very confronting to look at, but it is actually also painful. You only have to touch it really lightly and she's trying to get away from you. She says, I'm sick of people looking at my tongue, hanging and poking at it. Good girl. I know. There's plenty of it, isn't there? You just got spare.
It's huge.
Really, with a tongue like that, the only thing that we can do is surgery to reduce the size of it, because we don't, I think it's only going to get worse, and I think eventually it might even sort of die, and that'll cause her a real problem and make her really sick. So we've really got to fix this now.
The procedure Millie needs is called a glossectomy, where the damaged part of her tongue is removed.
The risk immediately is blood loss. Tongue's a really vascular organ, and it's partially that because the tongue is used in dogs for them to cool down.
Yeah.
So it's got to have lots of veins, so when they're panting, they lose heat through that area.
Yeah.
That's during surgery, but afterwards as well, if it bleeds and they get a whole lot of bruising, that can cause airway problems.
Okay.
Because suddenly they've got this big bruised tongue and they can't breathe well, so we'll have to watch that.
What will the tongue look like after surgery? Will she be disfigured at all, or?
I think it'll be better than that.
Yeah. But it will still look like a normal tongue?
Yeah, well certainly we'll try and shape it. I actually use a marker pen.
Okay.
So we'll draw on beforehand and just say, okay, is that a nice shape?
Okay.
And go from there. There's a possibility that we'll leave it so you can still see a little bit of the tongue poking out. I think I'd rather go to that than take too much.
She still needs to be able to pant.
Pant,
pull
exactly
down.
right,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Especially being a black pug.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's get her in hospital
Okay.
and we'll get this done.
Okay, wonderful.
You can see how much Fiona loves Millie, and I know Fiona just wants to get Millie out of any pain that she might be in and give her a good quality of life, and that's what we've got to do.
Look after her.
I promise I'll look after her. Come on. Thanks. I've got a Millie at home too, that's a black Labrador, so it doesn't quite have the tongue size, but anyway. All right.
Thank you. Ciao.
Go on,
Thank
Chuck.
you. Ciao.
We'll get you sorted.
Yeah, thank you. I know she's in really good hands, so Dr. Chris and Andrew will look after her. But I'll be anxious until it's over.
All right, Pickles. I know he's got a beautiful coat, but we've just got to get all this hair off and make sure there are no other ticks hiding there.
Also at SASH, as life-saving anti-serum gets to work, Pickles is undergoing a radical precautionary haircut.
So there's no more ticks, which is great. So we'll just keep a really close eye on him now. Keep him nicely sedated and watch his breathing. Okay. Some animals will follow the textbook and get better within a matter of time. Others will seem like they're okay and they'll deteriorate out of the blue. We can't take our eyes off Pickles because if he gets worse and we miss it, then he could die. All right. You're okay, Pickles.
Pickles will now spend the next 24 to 48 hours under observation.
All right, sweetie. I'm gonna watch you, okay? We've given him all the treatment that we can do for now. The rest is just gonna be monitoring, watching his breathing and hoping that he doesn't get any worse.
But we're looking at really twice the length it should be there.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah, goodness gracious.
Next day at SASH, little pug Millie is being prepped for her tongue surgery.
Millie's got a really long tongue, and when you look at it, it's really dry and horrid. So we're actually going to remove that excessive part of her tongue.
A bit more tetanus, please.
Chris and Andrew will be working together to perform the delicate procedure called a glossectomy.
Really, I think the first thing we've got to do, we've got this mark, but I think if we can make another one sort of just inside that, but just with a little bit of curve.
Yeah.
When you start cutting, all this gets distorted, and if you haven't drawn a line, you just don't know where you are, and it ends up really ragged. So
The thing is, the tongue's a muscle, so it could easily
it'll
start
contracting
up.
off, sure.
I think I'm fairly happy with that.
Yeah. Now, it is going to bleed because there's lots of blood vessels all the way along this, and there's a couple of sort of big lingual arteries are up here, but the veins are along here, and they'll actually probably be the hardest to get to stop. All the blood vessels in the tongue are really intimately associated with the muscle, and the tongue is just a big muscle. And there's no way that I can work around them. So what I've got to do is, as I'm cutting through it, I'm going to cut through these blood vessels, and as soon as I do that, I'll just have to cauterise them to stop them bleeding. actually, if you grab the tongue there, let's see if we can control a bit of these before we go too much further. We've just hit one of these blood vessels, so Chris has got his swab and straight on it, and now I've got to zap it, for want of a better word, to stop it bleeding. And I've got to do it properly, because if it starts leaking later when she's waking up, that could be a bit of a disaster for us. So try and stick to the deeper tissue.
What we're using to seal that blood vessel is electrocautery. It basically runs a really small electrical current directly into that blood vessel and stops the bleeding straight away.
It's not too bad, is it? Let's just keep cutting.
That's the thing, is that we actually do want blood supply there. We don't want it to...
Don't want to totally stop it.
And the main one we're worried about was lingual arteries.
Yeah, it's sort of the one on each side. Oh, there's one. Hello. Oh, look at that.
Straight away, that spurting of the blood tells you that we've hit the lingual artery. That pressure is quite significant. We need to get this one tied off quickly.
Let's swab on that for me.
Well, it looks good.
Oh, we still got one running around, Tim.
We got a cheeky devil.
At Devil Ark, Tim and Dean are preparing to check traps they set last night to catch female devils and hopefully joeys.
So we've got 2 left open, 8 shut. So fingers crossed we've got most of them. Okay, let's get our gear and get in. I bet you're keen to find out.
I am, mate. Exciting.
The whole year comes down to this.
It does.
Last night, we set 10 traps. Now it's time to see if we've caught the devils we need. It looks promising, but the proof is in those traps. Devil.
Full one?
We got one.
Great.
There's 8 devils in this yard. We've got 7. We know where the 8th one is because it's running around. Now we get to have a look who they are and if there's joeys. Okay, let's set up station.
Yep.
And then let's process. But that's a really good start. Once we've got a devil in the trap, then we're going to process it. Now, that means establishing whether it's a male or female, checking it looks healthy, and if it is a female, do we have joeys? We got a devil.
We do.
Big boy. Hey, hello.
It's a male. Hey, I think that's my joey from a couple of years ago, Duke.
You hand-read that?
I hand-read him, yeah.
Oh, spectacular, and he looks great. You going hands in?
I'm going hands in.
You're a brave man.
Hey, Duke.
They never forget you, hey?
Hello. So I know it's Duke. I've got a really special bond with him. I've raised him from 200 grams. He'll just sit in my arms and he's adorable.
But it's girls that Tim wants, so after a quick check, Duke is released.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Got her.
Okay, 8902.
That's Paige.
Paige. How old is she?
Paige is a 3-year-old. It's really important that we find some joeys. That's the future of Devil Ark and the future of their species.
Ready? Oh, mate, look.
Joeys.
Give me a left 5, buddy. Look at that. This is what it's all about, mate. We got a little girl. There's the pouch.
Wow.
Okay, we got a second girl.
It's amazing.
And number 3, lucky last. What do we got?
Little boy.
A little boy. Paige has 3 joeys, 2 girls and a little boy. Judging by their size, they're about 120 days old or 4 months. Now, having 2 little girls means that's another 2 breeders for the project. Couldn't be better. Amazing, mate. I never get sick of it, and I'll bet you don't.
No.
There's a whole lot of veins running along the bottom here. There's one. There's no blood at all then, look.
At SASH, Andrew and Chris are halfway through surgery to remove part of Millie's overly long tongue.
Oh, look at that. Oh, swab on that from me.
One of the biggest challenges with this type of surgery is keeping the bleeding to a minimum.
Once we do hit a blood vessel, we've got to seal it as quickly as possible. Otherwise, Millie really runs the risk of just losing too much blood.
Gotcha.
In a lot of surgeries, you can be quite tactical and really work your way around blood vessels. With this one though, there's no choice. We have to power straight through.
It's in there, one of those veins in there, actually.
After a careful combination of cutting and cauterising, Andrew and Chris have finally removed the excess tongue.
It's a big chunk of tongue.
That's a big chunk of tongue, isn't it? Yeah.
It's huge. It's really big in size, but you look back in Millie's mouth and all of a sudden she looks normal.
We might just take a little bit of this bulk out of this muscle out the front as well, otherwise it's going to be really non-tapered, so get ready with your swab, I think. It's important that we get the tongue shape right, because if it's sort of all squared off, I think it won't work as well as it should. So we've got to make sure that that tongue looks like a normal tongue. Oh, we're late. Go on, sort that. Grab a hold of that. Oh. Okay. Okay, great.
The final stage of Millie's transformation is to stitch up her brand new tongue.
Well, we're nearly there. Just got the last one to place now and a knot to tie and we're done. So, I mean, it's sitting nicely in her mouth. We can get it out beyond her teeth, which is what we want. And she's just going to have to relearn how to eat and drink. But
Well, it's going to be a messy few days anyway.
It is going to be a messy few days.
Messy few weeks and months learning again,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
she'll get there.
All right,
Let's wake her up.
make her up, I think.
Even though Millie doesn't know it, all of a sudden her life has just become just so much more comfortable.
Hey Mill, wait until you see the new you.
The key is the next few days. She has to stay relaxed. Otherwise, one of those blood vessels could lose its seal. If all of a sudden she does start bleeding, we have another emergency on our hands.
As Millie is wheeled into recovery, Chris can now share the good news with the pug's devoted owner.
I didn't think you'd leave.
How'd it go?
Well, things have actually gone okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, no issues with bleeding?
No,
Nothing
look,
unsettling?
normal amount of bleeding. Yeah. So we've managed to get through there and tie off all those blood vessels and keep everything under control. So
she's going to be okay?
Yeah.
It's the best news
It is.
possible.
Yeah, it is.
I really want to go and see Millie now, but I understand that Millie needs to rest to heal. So I look forward to seeing her in a few days.
The important thing for you though, you're going to relax, okay? Because you're through the hardest part.
Thank you. I will. Okay.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, see you later. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure this news is a massive relief for Fiona, but I guess we all won't be truly relaxed until Millie goes home, until we know this recovery over the next few days has been a success. It's a critical time. Some swelling could develop in her tongue. She could even have a bleeder there. So we just have to remain vigilant.
Third trap. Oh, big devil.
At Devil Ark, a vital part of the Tasmanian Devil breeding program is underway.
Devil Ark has 30% of all devils in captivity right here. Now, if they disappear from the wild, it's an insurance policy like this that means the species is safe. Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
It's big.
Feisty. Oh, she wants a bit of you.
And this is exactly what Tim and Dean are hoping for. Females with joeys.
Okay, let's get her out. The next female is Eliza. And she's a bit feisty. She's a first-time mum. Her joey's a bit bigger. Okay, we got the joey. Beautiful. She's got a little mouthful of mum's fur, but that's good.
So normally you'll get not all females breeding. You might get 2 that breed and 2 don't. So this is 2 out of 2 so far. Things are looking really promising.
You want to have a guess? Boy or a girl?
Say a boy.
50-50. It's a girl.
Oh, well, it's even better.
Even better, a little girl. Hey, you got some fire, haven't you? I think maybe 6 months? Just about to leave mum. This is the goal. This is the magic. It's what it's all about. Let's reunite them and we'll let her self-release. There's a big wave of relief that comes over you. This is what it's all about, the fruits of all our hard work. I couldn't be prouder. Hey, that's a girl. Look at me. Okay.
Tim can tell the next female is also a mum, but there's no sign of her babies.
It's not a worry to not have the joeys with mum. And the joeys will be at a size and age where she's left them in a den and she'll do that every night when she goes out to feed. And I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, active teats, she has 4 joeys. Look, she's great, mate. Let's let her go immediately. She can go back to those joeys right now.
The joey count is at a healthy 8.
I'm still a little bit nervous. We've still got 2 females to catch and go through. I just hope we've got more joeys.
Pickles, look at you up and about.
At Sash, it's been 24 hours since a life-threatening tick was removed from 6-year-old ragdoll cat, Pickles.
Hey, you want to get out? Let me have a look at you. Hey, you're the happier, stronger cat. Today's a really important test for Pickles. I need to see if he's getting stronger, how his breathing is. I just hope that he's made some improvement today. Sounds good. You're breathing nicely. That looks great. Sounds great. You're much stronger, look at you. Huh? Standing up. That's what I like to see. Good boy. I can't wait to show Jenny and the kids how well Pickles is doing. When she left, she didn't even know if she'd get him back home. And I think when she sees him now, she will be over the moon. Hello.
Hello. Oh no. Look at him.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Pickles. What's happened? Oh, look at him. Hey. Oh my God. Well, Pickles is not looking like Pickles without his hair, but he's definitely looking a lot more alive. It's just such a relief.
All he's going to need now for the next couple of weeks is going to be rest at home, inside.
Inside, okay.
Only inside. Let him recuperate. It's going to take a couple of weeks for him to get back on track, but he's definitely out of the danger zone. He's just a lucky boy. Jenny, Jessie and Amy are so excited to finally have Pickles back in their arms. Even though he doesn't look quite like himself, I don't think they were expecting to get him back this soon.
See you.
See you later. Bye. My pleasure.
All right, mate, lucky last.
Last.
At Devil Ark, Tim and Dean are hoping they'll be in luck with their final trap.
Oh, mate.
Female.
Female, look at this. Look.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you're piggybacking with Mum. Lucky last, and another success. Oh, there's more than one.
There's 2.
I went in
I thought there was only one.
I went down to grab one and another pops up. Look at them and look at me. I couldn't be prouder. Perfect health. 6 months old, almost big enough to leave in the den. I work with a lot of animals, but devils have a really special place in my heart. And it's little fellas like this that ensure the species survival and, for me, the reward.
It's been a pretty special day, and Tim and Dean couldn't be happier.
Do you want to know how many joeys we end up with?
I do.
9.
9. From 4 females. That's a 100% success rate. That's great.
But now Dean has 2 more special babies for Tim to check.
So I'm hand raising 2 devils at the moment, Levi and Diva. I'm a little bit worried about Levi. He's just not drinking as much as Diva. So he's about 20 grams underweight.
Come on. This way.
It's quick.
There's nothing wrong with his body.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with his body. Hey, settle. There you go, little mate. Rearing young devils is one of the best parts of the job, and devils in particular because each of them has an individual personality. No 2 are ever the same. That makes them really rewarding. So this is what he's doing, just chewing at it a bit rather than suckling.
Yeah.
No, look, I'd just keep him restrained like this, mate. He's very comfortable there now, you know, compared to letting him go. he wants to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Rearing children or wildlife, you worry about them. And Dean worries, but that's only because he cares. You can see here now, she's super chilled.
Yep.
He's highly strung. But you're a worrywart.
Oh, okay.
You're doing a great job. They're fine. The future for Dean's Joeys is that they will go into the breeding program. Once they're 12 months old, they'll be introduced to a devil preschool with other devils the same age. And at 2 years old, they'll be breeding. Ah, beautiful.
Can I have a look at your tongue? Hey? We can't see it. That's a good start, isn't it?
At Sash, it's been 3 days since the much-needed surgery on Millie's tongue, and the brave little pug is recovering well.
There it is. That's a good girl. So it's a bit swollen, but it's pretty good. Hey? There we go. There we go. That looks great. Hey? I'm really happy with how Millie's tongue is looking. It's shorter for starters, which is what we wanted. There's a little bit of swelling there, but not too much, so she's pretty much right to go home. So I'm sure Fiona will be happy to get her there as well.
It's been an emotional journey for the pub's devoted owner. Fiona can't wait to get her much-loved girl home.
I'm looking forward to seeing her without her tongue hanging out and hopefully the start of a new happy life for her.
There she is. There she is. Who's that? Who's that? I know she didn't desert you after all. Hey. That's a good girl.
Do you remember me?
I think she remembers. It really is great to see these two reunited, and I know Fiona's just ecstatic with the results of the surgery. Yeah, so she's even more beautiful than she was before now. But, I think you'll find she'll be much less messier and she'll cope with eating better. Yeah, I think so. It'll take a little while to learn to use the fact that it's a bit shorter, but she'll get there for sure.
So happy. I think she'll live a lot more comfortable life. You know, she'll be able to eat and drink and yeah, with ease now. You know, whereas before she found it really difficult.
But really, no, it really couldn't have gone any better. So, yeah.
Which is the best news possible for us.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. She's a great little girl. Yeah. Hey, ain't you? Is it all right?
I can't thank Andrew and Dr. Chris and the whole team enough for what they have done for Millie.
And it's a big day for one of Chris's very special patients.
Happy birthday, Brule! Good boy.
So today is a big day. We're really excited. It's Brule's first birthday. We've got a bit of a first birthday breakfast for him.
Hi, boy.
Hey,
Good birthday, mister.
I definitely think that he knows it's his birthday or he's the special one today. I think he probably thinks he's the special one every day, but particularly today being his birthday.
He's come so far, hasn't he?
12 months ago, Brule lost his mum, and Chris urgently had to try and find a surrogate that would accept the little orphan.
Ready to roll?
Yeah, we are.
All right, let's go.
The most crucial part is the next few minutes, because that decides whether Brule has a new mum or stays an orphan.
Go right in. She's calling. Go for it. Yeah.
That's my lord.
Okay. She's drinking off the mare.
Brilliant. Brule dives straight for the udder. That sound of him suckling is right now the sweetest sound of all.
Isn't she a beautiful mare to do that?
Brule's first birthday is a miraculous milestone for his delighted owners.
In this last year, Brule has probably tripled his weight. He's gotten a lot bigger, a lot stronger.
He's a good boy, Brule. He's a scratchy boy.
He's gone from this sickly little foal, leaps and bounds into a horse that's so self-confident and almost on top of his peers, which is a great trait for a horse, to be able to show the others who's boss. I'll just have to give some to these guys, they're getting jealous. Brule's more than just a horse to us, he's part of the family.
He's a gorgeous boy.
I never would have dreamed that he'd come as far as he has. And yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing him continue to grow into the future.
Big life ahead of him now. Reached his first milestone in life and many more to come. He's a good boy.
Even though it doesn't look like it, this is sea turtle country. So today I'm going out with a team that's on the very front line when it comes to helping out our ocean wildlife. But apparently how they do their work, it's a little bit different.
Chris is joining a World Wildlife Fund survey team in North Queensland.
This is more like it. We've got water.
The coastal waters here are home to 6 of the world's 7 species of turtle, but they're finding their habitat increasingly under threat.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
It's like you're waiting for me. How are you?
Welcome
Hey,
on
lovely
board.
meeting, Chris.
Yeah, you too.
G'day.
Today, Chris is helping Ian and Christine, along with 2 other crews, collect important data from the area's native green turtle population.
Come on board and let's get kitted up.
All right.
Turtles are a magical species. You know, they've been around for billions of years, and they also tell us a story about what's happening in the reef. Being able to protect their habitat and them into the future is really important.
What we're looking at is how coastal pollutants are affecting turtle health. Everything that's accumulating in here into this ocean, turtles and wildlife are feeding off that, and we want to work out what is happening to those turtles and the greater ecosystem.
So how do we actually find the turtles out here?
So the way that we do it is we actually look from the front of the boat and stand actually up on the bow.
But once we actually see them, how do we then get them?
So the rodeo technique's been used for decades, and
The rodeo technique.
rodeo technique. On the skipper's call, you're actually going to launch out off the boat while the boat is still going, and you've got to try and get in front of it, catch its carapace, its shell, particularly behind the back of the neck.
Yep.
Get a good handhold on it and bring it up to the surface.
Wow. When Christine first mentioned a rodeo, honestly, I thought she was joking, but this is serious. The timing of my dive has to be absolutely perfect, and my cowboy skills have to be up to scratch. Otherwise, I could very easily lose some of these.
Yep. Right there.
So I've seen one.
Ready when you are.
All of a sudden, the call comes through from Ian. There's a turtle, and we are go.
Now.
Got it. Well done. Wow. Amazing technique. That is incredible.
This one, just lift straight.
As expected, the first catch of the day goes to Christine. The bar has now been set.
This is a really, a fat, happy little turtle.
You're looking good, buddy. Hey, you're actually in pretty good nick. You didn't expect that, though, didn't you?
Everything's suddenly become very clear as to why this is a turtle rodeo.
Absolutely.
That's dramatic, isn't it?
It is. Are you keen to give it a go?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent.
I've seen Christine do her thing, and she does it well.
12 o'clock. Right there.
So now the pressure's on me to deliver similar results.
Hang on.
Yeah. It's just a bit sad. Yeah, not usually like this. Are you, buddy?
Sarah has come into Sash with 4-month-old Yoda, alarmed that the young pup has been vomiting and has diarrhoea.
Poor little Yoda, he's just been really sick on the stomach, just not as excited as what he usually is. He's usually really excitable and bouncy, and just none of that for the past couple of days, not wanting to eat or drink, just, not himself.
Dr. Laura Musgrove will be the emergency vet treating the little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Hi, I'm Laura. How are you?
Laura.
And who is this?
Yoda.
Hi, Yoda. Oh, that's nice. Are you excited to see me? Oh dear, he's looking a bit sorry for himself.
Yeah, he's not feeling too good.
Not feeling too good, buddy. Yoda is a black and tan Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and to me they're just my favourite dogs in the whole world. They hold a very special place in my heart because my late dog was also a black and tan Cavvy. So when I see him, I see a lot of her in him, and it just brings all those emotions back. Would you want to come through with me and we'll have a little chat and see if we can work out what's going on?
Wonderful.
What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. Thank you.
Okay, come on then. Yoda's looking pretty flat right now for a puppy. I'd expect him to be bouncing around, so he's really feeling quite sorry for himself, and I think it's quite important that we get to the bottom of this really quickly.
The family has had the mischievous pup for just 6 weeks.
Bit scared that he may have eaten something he shouldn't have. Yesterday when we got home, we'd had the lounge cushions from the outdoor furniture, and he'd practically tore one of them up. It was from one end of the house to the other.
Do you know what's inside?
It's like foam.
Like foam, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, let's have a little look at it. Do you think you can wake up, Yoda?
I know.
It's time to have a little look. I'm going to do a physical exam on Yoda. Really, I'm going to be concentrating on what it feels like in his abdomen, if there's any pain there, and also we'll be checking his temperature because that will also give me an indicator if we've got an infectious cause of his diarrhea and his sickness.
He has been whimpering.
Okay.
When he was laying on the lounge, he was kind of whimpering every time he moved. So
You're not a happy puppy, are you?
No.
Not a happy boy. Oh. Looked like he was going to vomit then, didn't he?
He's not feeling good, I know that.
No.
Where? Go.
Chris has joined a World Wildlife Fund survey team off the North Queensland coast.
It's 2-0.
It's on. Game on.
They're catching green turtles so they can collect data for an important study on the local marine population.
The strategy, as Chris tells me, is to jump down a little bit ahead of the turtle. By doing that, by the time you actually hit the water, the turtle's caught up to your hands and it should appear magically in your grasp.
It stopped. Went out the back.
So it turns out the champion turtle catcher is fallible after all. This makes me feel better that you missed one.
So you're up?
I believe so, yeah.
Excellent.
So now it's time for me to earn my stripes. Only problem is, there's no turtles.
We went through a little bit of a hot spot here, so yeah, we've got 2 on board and we chased another couple and...
Right in front.
Hang on a second, gotta go. Hang on. It's gone left, Chris, it's cut left underneath. There it is, gone right. Yeah.
The speed these turtles generate is something else. Plus they have an extra thing we don't really have. That's agility.
Just down in front there, Chris. Just going left a bit, going in front of the boat. Don't go.
We're weaving trying to match the movements of the turtle and hopefully position ourselves just behind and to the left of this moving animal.
Now.
The call comes from Ian, go. I leap out, hoping my arms are going to reach down and grab the turtle. Unfortunately, it's not to be. Beginner's luck, that's not happening today. I just don't think I jumped far enough ahead. I think I was kind of on top of it, and by the time it was underneath me, it was already in front of me, you know, it was...
And I think it actually turned as you jumped as well, so it took a bit of a turn.
Took a turn for the worst, and you didn't have your feet together.
We're being harsh, aren't we?
I'd have given it a 3.
3 out of 10. I thought when I got back in the boat, there'd be consoling pats on the back, everyone saying, come on mate, you'll be right, you'll get it next time. No, that's not exactly how it works around here.
All right, you're up again.
There's one way to make up for it, isn't there? Tough school here.
Boy. Thing is, if he has eaten foam, it'd be quite difficult to feel.
At SASH, emergency vet Dr. Laura Musgrove is trying to work out why little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Yoda is so unwell.
He's actually not uncomfortable in there, which is good.
Yeah.
Can we just stand up, little man, so I can have a proper feel? I know it's hard work standing up, isn't it? Yoda has had diarrhea and sickness, and anything could have caused that, particularly because he's been eating a sofa. You know, we're worried that there might be an obstruction there, but we can't rule out other causes, such as parvovirus, because of his age and because he's not fully vaccinated. He's not sore at all.
No.
You know what's coming next? It's the temperature time.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Don't look at me now. He's not going to want to stay with me after this. Can we just stand you up? Stand your little bottom up. All right, my flower. Good boy. Not even resisting that too much, are you, sweetie? Hey? So when dogs swallow things that they shouldn't, really they can get stuck anywhere along the gastrointestinal tract. So the next step for him is we're going to take some pictures of his abdomen and see if we can see any foam lurking around. So I'll pop him in this one up here.
Sarah will have to say a reluctant goodbye so Laura can carry out tests on the little pup in the hope of finding out why he's going downhill.
Look. Love you. See you tomorrow. Okay. Love you, buddy. Okay. Gonna lay down?
Okay, little one.
Okay, sweetie. Love you, mate. That was really hard. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that having him for 6 weeks and then having to leave him. So yeah, that's pretty hard. Yeah, not nice.
No tears?
Yep. No, I'm okay. Bye, mate.
Hey, Timmy, check out what I've just picked up. You're not going to believe this.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Bill has turned up with a most unusual creature for Tim to examine.
What is it? Wow, look at that. Oh, holy moly. Come and have a look at this, ladies. Do you know what it is? It's a little echidna, a puggle. Billy's just come into the office. Tim, come look at this. He's got a baby echidna. I've worked in zoos 17 years. I've only ever seen one before. You know what these are up here?
That have to be its ears.
They're its ears. So because it's in the dirt, they don't have, an opening, but that just catches like a satellite dish.
Absolutely adorable. It was the sweetest little thing I've ever seen. I don't think I'd ever come across one of those before, and so when I first saw one, amazing.
Are the spines spiky?
Well, have a feel.
A little bit.
Try go the other way.
Oh, you can't.
It was absolutely crazy seeing it. Was like nothing I've ever seen before, like out of this world.
What's the story, Bill?
The machine operator up near Devil Ark is disturbed, obviously, where Mum's burrow is and found a little baby.
Burrow's destroyed. There's no chance for it to go back.
Oh, it's completely destroyed. And Mum's nowhere to be seen, so...
Okay, they've done the right thing. Better than leaving him there. Billy says that it was dug up by a machine, so they've destroyed the nursery burrow. Mum's out somewhere. She comes back at irregular intervals, and this little baby's been exposed. Thankfully, it wasn't crushed. It looks good, a bit thin. Face is all clean, no bruising.
The baby echidna, or puggle, has had a lucky escape, but without its mother to care for it, Tim realises keeping it alive will be extremely difficult.
What do you want to do?
Look, it needs to be hand-reared. It's about 90 to 100 days old. And remember, this hatches from an egg. Yeah, we're talking a monotremes. So Mum lays an egg, incubates the egg, it hatches, small and pink, and now we're looking at something that's a few months old.
How does it get its mum's milk then?
Well, unbelievably, she has no teat. She has a mammary gland that it pushes its nose against, and the milk comes out like we'd sweat, and it drinks it. And get this, it only eats every 5 to 8 days. Yeah?
Oh, wow.
Look at the tongue.
Oh, so beautiful.
Look at it. The first thing that goes through my mind, it's fun, everyone having a look and the excitement, I'm excited. But there's a realisation that he has to be hand-reared. He's lost Mum, he's on his own now. There's going to be challenges.
So he'll survive without his mum?
Could, as long as there's been no damage to him, or him or her. We're in with a fighting chance. We got to get it to start drinking milk, get it out of this bucket and into a home, and we got a fighting chance just like anything else.
Come on then. Come on, Mr. Yoda, let's see what you've been doing. Oh. Okay. What have you been chewing?
What have you been chewing?
Oh, you're lucky you're very cute.
Let's hope there's nothing in there, little pal, hey?
Good boy.
Come on
Let's
then.
go and see what we can find.
At Sash, little furniture eater Yoda is
on then,
about
little
to
man.
be x-rayed to see if there's any sign of the foam stuffing from the chewed-up family sofa.
Very brave.
You're very brave. It's time to lay on this table for us now. When dogs eat things that they shouldn't, it depends on the size of the object, but ultimately it could get stuck anywhere along their gastrointestinal tract. Sometimes they pass it, sometimes they don't, and in that case, we're gonna have to go in and operate. Okay, all good?
All good.
Okay.
Well, just turn the light up so it's beautiful. Lovely.
Vet nurse Mark is assisting Dr. Laura Musgrove with the tests.
Happy? All good? Cool. Perfect. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Okay. It's not looking horrific, which I'm really pleased about. There's nothing really obvious there. There's no foam. We've got a bit of gas. Yeah, maybe in his colon. It's always difficult to tell when it's bundled up like that, and you can see the same here. It's really difficult with foam because, you know, it's not a solid object, so it may not show up.
a bit tricky.
Yeah.
With no definitive conclusion from the X-ray, Laura wants to see if a virus may be causing Yoda's symptoms.
Particularly because of his age and his vaccination status, I am quite worried about him having parvovirus. And this is a really dangerous virus that's highly contagious. And in the worst case scenario, they can die from it, generally because they get so dehydrated and so poorly very quickly. Oh, be a brave little boy. Oh, I know. Oh, well done. Okay, so we've just done the snap test for the parvovirus. So what I've done is just put a few drops into this little test here, and now we have to wait 5 minutes for the results to come through.
While waiting for the test results, Laura is anxious to start prepping Yoda for a drip so she can get him onto rehydrating fluids as soon as possible.
Okay, guys, so we're all good. It's a negative for parvovirus, so that is actually a really good sign. So I think we'll just get him on the fluids and let's see how he goes.
Okay.
Okay? Thank goodness for that.
I'm thinking of a name already.
What is it?
Well, we don't know if it's a boy or girl for at least a year. But maybe Eddie the Echidna, and if it turns into a girl, we'll go Edwina.
Edwina. Could still be Eddie then.
A baby echidna or puggle has arrived at the Australian Reptile Park after surviving a close encounter with earth-moving equipment that destroyed its burrow.
Physically, the puggle looks fine. I can't see any bruising, there's no obvious abrasions. I think he's been very lucky. Pop it on here, you watch its mobility. It can't walk. It's not ready for that, it's developing now.
He looks like an adorable little baby elephant to me, personally. He just looks a little bit confused. He can't walk properly.
He's wobbly. So if this was out from a burrow now, fox, cat,
Easy.
gone.
So it won't need a pouch?
No, at this age, it's left its mum's pouch and it stays in the burrow. So what I need to do is make somewhere like a burrow that it can bury, keep it at a cool temp where it can just ball up, go into a torpid state between feeds, and let's see how he or she is tracking in a few weeks. We've all had a look, fun and games are over. Now I want to get him set up, settled to the right temperature and start the process of hen rearing. Now what are we going to find you for a home, little mate? Hey? You're meant to be in a burrow, not a bucket. I'm in new territory today. I've read and I've learned all about hen rearing echidnas, but never had to do it. Now this looks good for an echidna. What do you think, mate? Hey, Eddie? What do you think? I found the right enclosure for Eddie. It's ventilated, but it's deep, it's dark. Now I need to make the burrow. He needs dirt, bit of sand, and importantly, it must be dry. You wait here, pal. I'm gonna get you some dirt, some sand, make a nice, deep, cool burrow, and I'll be back in a second.
Yep. Chris is in North Queensland catching green turtles for a survey into the health of the local population. After a failed first attempt, the pressure is on. The team needs to catch as many as possible.
I've learned a lot from the first miss, so now it's time to change a few things and go back for round number 2. I'm in the water, my hands are grasping out, but it is a miss. The boat, they don't even hang around. They're off.
Ready? When you're ready.
Ian's decided he's going to catch this turtle. Annoyingly, Ian, who I thought was just the boat driver, also catches turtles. Better than I do. I touched it then.
Well, that's good. So you get the pack?
Again, just wasn't far enough ahead of it.
Is it easy to catch a turtle? I don't think so. I think many people have tried and think that it's going to be an easy thing to do, but no, it's not. It's actually quite challenging.
Wow, that's bigger.
Yeah, so this is a real target one for us because this one would have now been in this foraging ground for somewhere between 15 and 25 years, accumulating what is entering the environment, what people are putting down their sinks, what people are putting on their gardens, all ends up in the ocean eventually. We've got 6 out of 7 species of marine turtles in our backyard, and the majority of them are in decline. I think that's a cause for concern, and I think we really need to be mindful about what we do as humans and how we impact not only turtles but all wildlife.
Okay, good
You're
work,
up.
team.
There's still one issue.
There is.
The fact I'm wet and don't have a turtle. The simple fact is we have to get in and grab these turtles as quickly as possible. The tide's dropping and time is running out. So I just go straight back to the bow of the boat and get into the jump position.
Oh, there it is.
Where?
It's going pretty slow.
Got it. Ready?
Now I can feel the pressure building. It's a mixture of adrenaline and stress. I have to make the next jump, otherwise I've officially let the team down.
I'll bring you in a bit more and go.
You're almost set, pal. You wait in there. I'll be back in 1 minute.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim is making a baby echidna a place to live after its home in the wild was destroyed.
Perfect. This dirt's perfect because it's dry. Moisture and humidity can give him a respiratory infection, perhaps pneumonia. So a female echidna, she digs a burrow, and the temperature in that burrow is between 18 and 23 degrees. I'm used to keeping mammals and birds, reptiles at 35 degrees. The challenge is to make an environment that stays cool. This is the perfect start. Dirt, a little bit of sand, and he'll have his home.
If baby Eddie is to survive, Tim needs to get every element of his new home right.
It's my challenge to find the right area that the temperature will stay beneath 23 degrees. That's not easy. Then I've got to have dirt that's dry, that he can dig in. I'll perhaps place a towel on top so he feels secure and just try and get him comfortable. How you going, little man? Got you a home. Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, what's up, Tim?
Come and have a look at this. We've got a home for someone. Dry dirt, it's a burrow. Got to be kept at 20 degrees.
What is it?
Something you won't have seen.
Oh my God, what is that?
This is Eddie the echidna.
No way.
Kyle walks past and I give him a yell. I know that he hasn't seen a puggle before, and when he does, he's blown away.
This is amazing.
Now, see these? This is his ears.
Is it?
You see all the features on these that you wouldn't see on a big prickly adult.
No, seen plenty of adults, but never seen anything like this. Didn't think in my lifetime I would see a baby echidna. To see one at that size, there's no words to explain it.
The critically important thing for its survival is that this burrow is like the wild.
To ensure Eddie doesn't overheat, Tim will use a thermometer to monitor the pug's new home.
So, I'll put one probe in the dirt. I'll put one probe in here. Hey, you see, we're already sitting at about 23 degrees. So I have to find somewhere that can get that down to 21.
As well as temperature, Tim will need to keep a watchful eye on Eddie's weight.
Can you pop him in there, please?
Yep. Just straight down?
Yep, straight in.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, we're at 550 grams. Weighing all of our animals, especially orphan wildlife, is critically important. Today, Eddie's weight will set a benchmark. I'll now monitor against that. I don't want him to lose weight. Needs to go up. Let's pop him in there.
But temperature remains the critical factor.
Do you think he'll burrow straight down if you put it in, or try to?
I think that he'll probably burrow down a bit, but
Today's warm, so I don't think he'll necessarily go down in the dirt. He'll try and stay cool. But look at the challenge, mate. 23 and 22. It's already too hot. Over that, 25 degrees, it can die.
Got it. Ready?
In North Queensland, Chris is feeling the pressure as he makes his third attempt to wrangle a turtle.
I'll bring you in a bit more and go.
Let's be honest, the dive wasn't exactly graceful, but all that matters is there was a turtle in my hands. I got one, and that's a start. Third time's a charm. Thank you. With one now under my belt, I go back to the front of the boat with a bit more confidence.
Right there, right there.
Again, the call comes, and we're off.
There it is, right there, right there. Hang on, hang on, hang on. That's going to be a handful, Chris. It's a big boy. Right. Ready? Yep. Go.
This turtle is much bigger than the last one I dealt with, so just slowing him down is an effort.
You got to get it vertical. That's it.
Getting him vertical feels impossible. Thankfully, after a lot of struggling, I get his head out of the water and, amazingly, that struggling stops. Oh, wow. That's a big turtle.
The front third of them are just pectoral muscle and they're just in their element.
Yeah, that was a real rodeo, a real wrestle. A battle of wills. In the past, every encounter I've had with turtles has been kind of gentle from a distance, and you get to really admire their beauty and their tranquility. Here, it is splash and it is dash.
Over top of it. Now. Oh, nice dash.
That was a very nice catch.
I feel like I'm suddenly getting the hang of this. I jump in and now it feels natural to feel turtle shell and feel it firmly.
That's a nice fat turtle.
Yeah, it is.
Feeding well.
Yeah, matey. Decent shape, aren't you? While I'm now more relaxed, we've got a decent number of turtles. Now comes the tricky part. You've got to get these turtles up onto the beach and work out exactly what each of them is facing.
If you don't mind, I'm going to get some samples. It won't take too long.
What do you think, mate? Let's pop him in there.
Tim has finished making a new home for rescued baby echidna Eddie.
I'm happy with the enclosure. The thermometer's working, the dirt's good, he can burrow in it. But now I want to see if he'll feed. Okay, I'm going to get that kangaroo food. Can you do me a favour? Please grab a container, syringe, 3 mil, a fork, and about 100 ml of hot water. 100 ml hot water. Thank you. The milk that I'm using is an artificial product that's made for marsupials. It's really important, if you find wildlife, do not give them cow's milk. They can't process it. There are the right type products, and I've got it. So the process here is the same as a wallaby, wombat, possum. It's when I go to feed him that it changes, because there's no bottle, there's no teat, there's no syringe, it's into the palm of the hand. The thing with echidna milk, it's a lot higher in fat. A kangaroo might feed 4 to 6 times a day. Eddie will feed every 3 to 5 to 8 days. So the fat content has to be a lot bigger for him to be able to grow. It's going to be a challenge to get him to eat. But the bigger challenge right now is that thermometer's still at 23 and 22 degrees. The biggest challenge is to get that down. I've got one place in mind in this whole park where I might be able to do that, and I'm going to go there. All right, good luck with it, Tim. Thanks, mate. I'll let you know if he feeds.
In North Queensland, Chris is helping the survey team bring the turtles they've caught ashore. This one has a fishing hook snagged in its flipper.
Wow. So he has been caught before, but by fishing line. Alright, I might get my kit. See if we can get that out straight away.
I knew when I arrived here today that these guys are on the front line when it comes to encountering turtles that are really doing it tough. This girl here is living proof of that. If pollution in the environment weren't a big enough hurdle, now this turtle has had to deal with fishing gear.
You've never seen a vet before, have you? I guarantee that. So it's fairly recent. I mean, there's not a lot of corrosion on the hook. I guess she'll just pop out. There we go. Simple as that.
You can imagine what that would do if it actually was caught in their mouth and they ingested that and down into their crop.
Yep, well, that is certainly better out than in. Right, that's all done. That'll heal up all by itself. So, now we need blood tests, measurements, and a weight.
That's right, and a tag so we can identify again in the future. It's important we get as many numbers as we can, especially for the population dynamics.
Precisely 100 centimetres. I think she's ready for the tag.
Excellent. Just going to feel a little flinch.
Yep.
That's it. That's a good tag. We're in.
Now that she's tagged, each and every time she's caught in the future, we know exactly who she is and really how she's doing. Importantly also, we then know whether the environment is changing.
So it's 102.
So while she's up like this, is it a good time to take the blood test?
Absolutely. There you go.
What happens to these samples after they're taken is actually quite interesting. Some of them go to Florida, some of them end up at the University of Queensland. But the whole idea is to build up a picture of their own individual health, but also they'll be able to analyse whether there are any toxins in the blood and where they're coming from.
She goes international, doesn't she?
She does go international. Green turtles are a really great indicator of ecosystem health, and so that's why they're so important to this study. Not only because they're endangered at a global scale, but they're able to tell us, like a canary in the coal mine, what's actually happening in our environment.
How you going there?
What is it? This is 73.5 centimetres.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about this is it's our recapture turtle. So that's great. These are the guys that give us growth rates.
So I guess the exciting part for you guys is being able to bleed her again now and get another test done.
Absolutely. Now we can run those samples again and see what changes there were in her chemical load.
Yep.
And see if there are any different chemicals that have appeared as well.
And that tells you if all of a sudden something's begun polluting the area.
That's right, and it also will give us a bit of a temporal scale over time to see if those pollutants are actually changing inside the turtle's body as well.
There you go, mate.
Tim has brought Eddie, the baby echidna, to stay in his office, where it's cool enough to give the rescued puggle a good chance at survival.
You're out and about. I hope that means you're hungry, buddy.
Tim is also anxious to get the little puggle feeding.
Your belly does look thin. This is a crucial stage for Eddie. I don't know if Mum fed him 2 days ago or 8 days ago. And I'm told it's like the flick of a light switch. Either they want to eat or they don't. I hope he does, because it would make me feel better. Now, this is going to be a little different to what you're used to. Here you go, mate. That's the way. Put that tongue out. Echidnas drink from their mum's mammary gland or the skin around. They push against it like this with their beak, and that stimulates the production of milk, and then they lick it up. Hopefully, Eddie plays ball and starts to drink. Oh, drinking. Well done, mate. Look at the tongue. I have never, ever, ever seen that. Tim nosing at it, pushing down. That's just amazing. He mustn't have been fed for a little while because the reaction here, first feed, he's hungry. Keep going, pal, that's better. Now I can give you some more. I could have accepted if he didn't drink today and thought, well, I'll try again tomorrow, but the fact that he has means we're moving forward. Yeah, mate, more? I can't keep up with you. Hello, mate, you're coming up for a breath. Eddie still faces a lot of challenges. He's small, he's got to be kept at a really low temperature, he's got to be fed at irregular intervals, very different than what I'm used to. Unreal, mate. You're a superstar. I'd like to think that Eddie's releasable to the wild at some point, back where he came from. That'll be governed by how the next few months go, how he goes on weaning, if he can integrate into an environment and start to look after himself. Fingers crossed. No, you're doing really well. Keep on going.
deep.
In North Queensland, Chris is helping a WWF survey team collate information about the green turtles they've caught.
I was proud of catching this one, but now I'm wishing it was a bit smaller.
Last but certainly not least is Chris's monster catch.
I knew the moment my hands touched him out in the ocean that he was a big boy, but probably didn't really realise just how big. 147.5 kilograms.
47.5.
1.5 times my weight.
At nearly 150 kilos, that makes this boy anywhere between 30 and 50 years of age. In that time, it's scary to think how many cyclones, how many boats he's had to dodge. But just to actually be up close to a turtle this age, it's extraordinary.
Okay,
Thank you.
Fast-moving boats, wild weather and fish hooks aren't the only obstacles sea turtles have to deal with.
There's been 200 years of industrialisation, of coastal development, pollution, runoff, human habitation, and it's really important to understand that what you put down your sink, what you put on your garden and what washes off from your land ends up here and ends up in our marine wildlife like turtles.
Some good news, buddy. The time with us is done.
After taking measurements and blood samples, it's time to start releasing the turtles.
See you next time.
See you, buddy. Oh, he's in a hurry.
It was a fantastic day. Look, we got all the turtles we needed, some recaptures, and the recapture was the most important one, so that was fantastic to get that one. One last push.
While I face my own challenges today, they're really nothing compared to what these turtles face each and every day out in the wild. Hopefully this testing we've done today and all these samples will make a massive difference to turtles all around the world. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Leave the beach strong and swim off happy.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful scene.
Back home.
No. Don't go eating that. That's how you got here in the first place. Eating things you shouldn't. Yoda. I can tell why you ripped up the lounge. Look at you, you're a little naughty boy, aren't you? Naughty boy.
At Sash, Yoda has been on fluids overnight after a nasty bout of vomiting and diarrhoea.
Come on then. Let's have a little look at you and see if you can go home. Oh boy. Yoda's looking much brighter this morning. He seems to have done really well overnight, so I'm going to give him one last check over and hopefully we can send him home. Let's have a little feel. Don't go eating that. Naughty. That feels fine, doesn't it? Hey? Are we much happier? Do you want some food? Hey, should we try some food? What have we got? Gently. Good boy. Is that nice? A little bit more. You ready? Good boy. Much happier, aren't you? Hey? Yoda is so much brighter this morning. He's all wagging his tail and giving me kisses, aren't you? Puppies are pretty good. Like, they can look terrible 1 second and then with the right treatment they can bounce back really quickly. You know, they feel everything so much more than an adult dog, but I'm really happy with him and I think it's time we get him back to his mom and his brothers and get him home. Yeah? Come on then. Come on. Good boy. Oh, cutie pie.
Yoda has a very excited welcoming committee.
It was actually really strange not having Yoda at home last night, so we're just excited to be taking him home. But I don't think Yoda has learned his lesson. He's a chewer, so I think he'll keep doing that, but it's going to be up to us to make sure that he doesn't have anything to chew.
Oh, hi. Who are you two? Are you Yoda's brothers?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, look at him. Have you missed him? Give him a kiss. Yeah? Oh, that's nice. Do you want to come and see him? Are you going to come and say hello? He's not been very well, has he? There you go. Gonna give him a kiss. There you go. Oh, big kisses. It's so nice seeing Yoda back with his big brothers. Like, they clearly love him. They're giving him lots of kisses and hugs. It's just the sweetest thing to see, and I'm so happy that I can send him home for more of that.
Well, thank you so very much.
Honestly,
We
my absolute
appreciate
pleasure.
everything that you've done.
Honestly, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Just make sure we don't see him back too soon.
Yeah, no
For the wrong
problem.
reasons, anyway.
Exactly. All right.
Come on then, Yoda. On a scale of 1 to 10 of cuteness, I think Yoda is like a 20. He is off the scale cute. I just want to eat him up.
Can't wait to get him home. You excited?
He's just ripped his toe as getting out of the car and he can't.
Okay, do you want to come straight through and have a look?
Cairn Terrier Fergus has been rushed into the Bondi Clinic by owner
Fergus.
Catherine and 12-year-old son Chris.
All right, so just explain what's happened.
He jumped out of the car with his sister and he caught his foot and I think his nails all sticking out and...
And did he yelp that in pain when he landed? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he screamed. His foot's all turned inwards, the nail's off, it's bleeding and he can't put his foot down.
He's obviously caught it at a strange angle. It is quite dramatic.
If you touch it at all, he was screaming.
Yeah.
But then he also puts on a performance.
Does he?
Best of times. Cairn Terriers, they're a Scottish breed. They're supposed to be really clever, but Fergus isn't the brightest dog. He's a real baby.
So, I mean, looking at the two, it's easy to see the difference. It's the normal one there, it's facing straight ahead, whereas this one is off at the wrong angle.
And he's trembling a bit.
Yeah, he is. I've seen a lot of dogs in pain, and to me, Fergus is one of those dogs. And when you look at his toe, there's no doubt it's bent at a strange angle. I don't believe this is a performance. I think this is the real deal. The big challenge is working out whether, when he's jumped out of the car, whether he's actually twisted that toe, the entire toe, and broken it and dislocated it, or whether it's just a nail that's ripped away from its base and twisted around.
The only way to know for sure is with an X-ray.
What I'm concerned about here is that Fergus may very well have fractured either his toe or his entire foot. If he's done that, he has every right to be showing signs of pain.
My mate Jason's called from Hunter Valley Zoo. He's asked me to come up because he needs some help with sheep. What could he need help with sheep for? But one thing's for sure, whenever Jace calls, it's always interesting, and I'm betting today will be no different.
Tim Faulkner is taking time out from his role as General Manager at the Australian Reptile Park and is heading north into the Hunter Valley, where zoo owner Jason and his team are ready to get going.
Morning, boys. Morning, Timmy. How are you, mate? Good. Come on in, mate. We've got a challenge for you.
The boys are already down at the yard. Where's my cup of tea? I turn up and it's straight into it.
How are you, mate? Good. Here to help.
Oh, why so many people for sheep?
We're called Barbary sheep.
Where are they?
Over in the far corner. They're already onto us.
Great. Barbary sheep. Now it all makes sense. You can always rely on Jace to come up with a doozy like this. Look at the horns.
Especially that big boy. He's about 90 kilos.
That explains why there's so many people.
Yep. We've got a bit of an outside-the-box job for Tim today. We've got to catch our Barbary sheep. The big guy needs his hoofs trimmed and just a regular vaccination and worming and stuff like that. And one of our females hurt her eye a few weeks ago, so she needed a patch put on it. So we've got to actually have a squeeze under that patch and see how the eye's travelling. So we need to have a couple here, use the dam as our divider. So we'll leave 3 on this side and take 3 around that side.
Yep.
The plan is for the team to fan out and herd the sheep into a holding pen, where the procedures can be carried out safely.
Okay, so we'll just push them nice and gentle. Oh, they're onto us, mate.
Barbary sheep are native to the mountain regions of North Africa.
All right, try and keep them moving, guys. Cut them off, cut them off. Oh, these are hard, aren't they? Barbary sheep are really dangerous. They've got a massive set of horns, know how to use them. And if you're in front of them, they won't stop. They'll just plough straight over the top of you. Move up, boys. Here we'll go, another big swoop. We'll go right around, bring it around to you guys. Come up, Shane, Rodney. Try and push them around now. Come on. It's up to us now, mate.
Here we go. Come on. It's obvious this is not working. I hope Jace has got another plan.
You know, most sheep are stupid. These guys are switched on.
They
know the drill.
So, what do you do?
It's time to bring out the big guns.
I'm already here.
I mean the real big guns.
Yeah? What's that?
I'll show you.
Righto.
Go and have a look.
not sure if it's just a nail that's been torn off or whether we've got a dislocation or a break of that toe.
At the Bondi Clinic, 3-year-old Fergus has a badly injured foot. He hurt it jumping from a 4-wheel drive.
You look at his toe, to me it doesn't look right. It's off at a strange angle and that nail is bent around 90 degrees from where it should be.
An X-ray is the only way to confirm whether the young Cairn Terrier has fractured his foot.
X-ray.
Okay, so the toe that we're worried about is this top one here, and it is deviated. All the other toes are coming down and out. This one's popping up. And you put that with this shot here where it's deviated out to the side, and there's definitely a problem around that joint there. Fergus is no drama queen. He's not only ruptured the entire nail off its bed, but he's torn the ligaments in his toe, causing what is a pretty serious displacement. So, let's see how Catherine handles the news. About Fergus. We've found the problem.
Yeah?
It's actually potentially a little bit more than we thought originally. So, it looks like he's torn ligaments in his toe as he's landed.
Only my dog could do that.
So,
all right.
I've got to say, he's not being dramatic out there at all. He's actually, I think the moment's really hit him. He's been quite quiet. By tearing the ligaments, the toe's deviated off to one side and has also lifted up a little bit as well.
Okay.
So what we can do is actually strap up that foot, and that's going to really act like its own little splint. And provided we trim that nail off, he should actually be right to go home tonight.
Excellent. Only Fergus could hurt himself jumping out the car. You know, it's just typical Fergus. He's quite accident prone.
All right, we'll see you in a second.
Brilliant, thanks.
Thanks.
What do you got?
We're going to bring out the big guns, I said.
Whoa.
Get a load of this puppy.
What is that?
It's called a net gun.
At the Hunter Valley Zoo, Tim is helping round up Barbary sheep that are in need of a health check.
We've done a couple of laps around their yard, and so far it's not going to plan. They know what the holding pen means, and they just don't want to go in there. So now it's time for plan B. So it shoots out a 4x4 metre net.
Yeah, I can guess that by the name of it. And so how close can you get?
Got to get within 15 or 20 metres. But as soon as this net lands over the head, you've got to get there as fast as you can. Get a hold of the horns, the deadly bit, get the net off the animal, get it up to the yards, and we can process it from there.
Righto, mate. Well, I'm no Usain Bolt, but...
All right, give it a crack.
I'll give it a crack.
All right, well, the big guy running that, yeah, I'm sure you will be.
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
Let's get into it.
Well, the gun's a great idea, but the sheep still has horns. It's still 90 kilos. It's still running very fast, and once the net's over it, we've still got to get into the sheep and restrain it. I'd like to think it goes as smoothly as it sounds.
So keep moving.
Whoop. Oh, close.
So firing the net gun is all about teamwork. So the Barbary sheep are flying past you. They're going at Mach 10. So the idea is to pull the trigger at the right moment, get the net to land perfectly over, do a nice wrap, then it's up to the other guys to run in and really get the animal quick. Righto.
Ooh, another miss. Jason needs to pick up his act.
All right, try and keep it moving, guys.
Got him?
Yep, we got him. Big male presents himself. Bam, perfect shot. Straight over his head, wraps him up, and in come the guys. He's a powerful animal.
Good shot, mate.
Thanks, mate. All right, we've got to get him untangled now, the tricky bit.
Finally, we got him, the big boy. It's all hands on deck.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
He's got some kick. As the net comes off, it has to be peeled from the back all the way up and then over the horns. Now, as that's happening, he feels a lot freer.
Righto, we've got one.
That's when he gives a kick.
3 feet out. Back. Whoop. Timmy, can you jump on another leg, please, mate? Right. Lift his leg up.
Yep. And the front.
Net. Drag it forward.
Forward.
Yep.
Yep, free.
Free.
Yep.
Righto, guys, now we're going to the business end.
He builds up like a reptile.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Just come this way.
Here we go.
Righto, Oves, take that with you, mate. Peel it off.
Now we've caught him. That part's done and done well, but we've got to walk him all the way up to the yard and get him inside to be able to process him. One slip at this moment he'll feel a bit of freedom and he'll bolt. Easy, fella.
Good boy, Fergus.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is about to begin treatment on Fergus's badly injured foot. The Cairn Terrier hurt it when he leapt from a four-wheel drive.
So while Fergus avoids a surgery, what he doesn't avoid is a sedation. Because right now I need to remove this nail, but also find a way to strap up this foot. None of that would be pleasant if he was awake.
Okay, so if we can just get him onto his side there.
Now that Fergus is asleep, it's time to clip up that foot. And it reveals something quite surprising.
Oh, have you seen that?
Fergus hasn't just torn the nail, he's actually ripped it off the nail bed. That is about as excruciatingly painful as an injury gets.
It's always a risk when you have a big open wound like this around the toe that can become infected just because that toe is sitting so close to the ground. So I'm just really focusing on getting plenty of antiseptic in and around that and getting it nice and clean.
With the nail bed now thoroughly cleaned and any bacteria removed, it's time for some extra thick bandaging.
This is one of those situations where the more padding you put into this dressing, the better, because with that extra padding comes extra strength. One final wrap, and it's looking pretty firm.
Okay.
Fergus hasn't exactly had a lot of sympathy today for his injuries, so I'm going to give him some more in the form of some anti-inflammatories and some antibiotics, just to really help him through the next few days.
So Fergus, you're right to wake up. Whenever you're ready.
There's no doubt it's been the toughest of tough days for Fergus. Eventually that nail will grow back, but in the meantime, what he needs is just to sleep off that sedation, and then he can go back to his mum.
So now he's free, guys. Let go, Daniel. Boys can lead him on. Yep.
Jeez. God, he's strong.
He's strong, isn't he?
At the Hunter Valley Zoo, Tim is helping staff lead an extremely stubborn sheep up into the yards.
Easy, fella.
All right, you guys run ahead and get everything ready for him.
Okay.
So the danger now is he's going to use those really large horns and his powerful build to lever us around, push the boys around, and if you get in the wrong spot, he can hook you with those big horns and he'll do you some serious damage. You right out there, guys?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Wants to go forward now. He's on me.
You going in shade there, Jace?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Now we've got him in the yard, we need to give him a vaccination, a drenching, and trim the hooves. Once we've done that, we can put him into a holding yard.
First up is the drench.
Along the back?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Done.
Followed by the vaccination.
Ready? One squirt. Done.
Beautiful, mate, thank you.
Beauty.
Now the team needs to address the overgrown hooves.
All right, Rodney is our head hoof trimmer. So what I might get you to do, Timmy, is to hold the legs up. I'll take over from Rodney.
Yep.
And I'll slip in there behind you guys.
One at a time or
One at a time, mate, yeah. We'll just...
Rodney and I let go for 1 second and he's off. Boom! Right into Jace. You right?
Good. So we're swapping over. I'm taking over Rodney's spot on the front of the sheep because he's going to do all the hoof trimming, and bam, drives me straight up the yards where really took the wind out of me.
Okay, right, good on you.
As Jason catches his breath, Tim and Rodney get on with the hoof trim.
So they're a bit long, hey? So you just trim those up?
Just trim them up so they're flat along the bottom of that foot.
In their natural environment, sheep's hooves would wear down on rocky surfaces.
Good. 2 done. Next foot.
But on the soft Hunter Valley turf, they become overgrown.
Okay, last foot. Doesn't hurt him at all, eh? It's just in
no, it's just like your fingernails or your toenails.
Looking good. There we go. Done.
Right, Timmy, you right to get in there, mate?
Yep.
Righto, spin around to your left. I'm going to open the door.
Watch it. Oh, it's off. One slip at this moment, he'll feel a bit of freedom and he'll bolt. 1, 2, 3,
and he goes. Quick. Well done, everyone. How good was that? How well was that?
Well done.
How strong is he?
Jeez.
It's a bit out of the comfort zone, isn't it? A bit different to the venomous snake.
Give me a dance with a venomous snake any day.
Yeah.
So 1 down.
Another one to go.
Okay.
Yep. All right, let's go.
Has it all been an awful dream? You're okay then, mate. You're all right. Want to go home?
Later that afternoon at the Bondi Clinic, Fergus, who injured his foot jumping from a four-wheel drive, has slept off his sedation.
Okay, let's go.
And is ready to be reunited with his mum.
It's time to get Fergus back to Catherine. Now, all along, she's been insisting that Fergus has been banging it on. So now we know the truth is that he's tougher than anyone expected. I'm keen to see if, well, if she's going to take it all back.
So there he is.
There he is.
He's got something to show you too, which he's very keen for you to see.
Oh, there you go. Oh, he's a bit dopey, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So that's a combination of just some of the sedation that hasn't quite worn off, but also some of the pain relief.
It's not a problem.
Really painful injury.
Mind you, it hurts if you rip your fingernail off, so
Yeah.
I guess he's done a bit more than that.
Get the impression that he might just get the sofa tonight, am I right?
He always gets the
I do.
sofa.
I think it's safe to say that Fergus has surprised a lot of people today, not the least of which is Catherine. But let's hope that his dramas stay in the past.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you later.
Cheers.
See you, Fergus.
At the Hunter Valley Zoo, Tim is helping round up Barbary sheep.
Make her change direction, she'll step in it.
With the big male safely out of harm's way in the holding yard, it's now time to catch the feisty female.
There we go. Ah, nice job, Abs. You were in there, bud. Hey? Body on the line. Sorta got her, but it's off. We need to go again. Oh, close. Very close.
After another shot off target,
Righto.
it's third time lucky.
Now it's up to all of us to get in there and get us safely up to the holding area. Yep. What a catch.
Once the female is successfully moved to the holding pen, the team can get to work.
She needs the same treatments as the male had, but she's had an old injury to the eye that's had a patch over it. So the patch needs to come off, assess the eye, and see if it needs more treatment.
A little bit of an ulcer on the eye there, but it's not bleeding, it's a lot better than what it was, so I reckon we're going to leave it off to heal. We'll catch you again in another couple of weeks, just to keep an eye on her in the paddock.
So it was worse than that. The patches let it calm down.
Yep,
it's not irritated.
No, it's not irritated.
Now it needs some sunlight and fresh air.
Yep. Eye's looking great. We haven't got to repatch it again. It can now just do the rest of its healing by itself.
That's right.
After administering drench and vaccinations,
it's good. Back.
Tim's now checking her hooves.
How are the hoofs, Timmy?
The front two were good.
Okay.
A little bit on the back, not bad, but.
He's had a bit of a rough trot with that bad eye, so I'm glad there's nothing else wrong with her.
Done?
Alrighty. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll put the female in with the male. We're going to let them settle and just make sure they're right.
In. Beauty.
Well done. How was that?
Cheers, mate. I'm glad it's over.
It went well, didn't it?
The female's in with the male. They need to settle for a few minutes. We get to take a breath and absorb in what's just happened, and then we'll release them. Cool, what's the plan?
Let them straight out, yep. All right.
I'm going to jump behind that gate.
Yeah, he's going to come out of here like a bull at a gate. You ready?
Coming. They were as quick taking off as they were to catch.
Weren't they? Straight out of there as soon as I saw that open gate.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks heaps for coming up, mate. I'll give you that cup of tea now after you had your run around, your bit of daily exercise.
You reckon I've earned it?
Yeah, you have.
Hi, I'm here to see Chris. I've got a wallaby.
Okay, great. If you just want to take a seat, we'll wait till behind you.
No worries. Thank you.
At the Bondi Clinic, Ben has travelled from the outskirts of Sydney with a very special patient.
This is Hugo. He's a redneck wallaby. He's about 4 years old. And he's from a wildlife sanctuary that I run out in Dural. And we've just noticed in the last week or so that he's developed a really large lump, tumour-looking growth in his ear. So it's a bit concerning how big it is and how quickly it's come on. So we're keen to get it checked out by Chris and see what he thinks it might be.
How you doing, mate? Come straight through.
Thanks, mate.
The bag's wriggling, huh?
It is moving a bit, yeah. Pop him up here.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I'm just trying to keep stress to a minimum because I'm sure he's probably realised this is a bit out of the ordinary.
Come on, buddy.
All right, big bag and big wallaby, huh?
Definitely, yep. Yeah.
All right. We might just try to get him out nice and gently.
Come on, matey.
It's Hugo, isn't it?
Hugo's his name, yeah. He's a redneck wallaby.
Okay.
And about a week and a half ago, we noticed this big growth that had come up in his ear, so it seemed to have come up really quickly. And it's very large, as you can see.
It's big, I mean, and it's also really filling up the entirety of that ear canal there. And quite firm too. The moment I look into that ear, it's very clear exactly why Ben's worried. There is a big lump in there, and it sounds like it's come up really quickly. So there are really two extremes. At either end of the scale, we have an abscess, which really isn't such a bad thing. We can treat with antibiotics and it should heal, through to the other worst possible case scenario, which is a tumour.
So he was bred in captivity, and when he reached sexual maturity, he started to get a little bit boisterous. So
really?
they had to rehome him, so they gave me a call.
Yep.
So yeah, he came to us, and we've had him for about 8 months now.
Since he's been with you, has he been quite calm?
Initially it was quite interesting to see how he reacted with the other roos. So he sort of came in, and I think he's got a bit of small man syndrome, being the wallaby, and there was a few big red kangaroos twice his size around.
Yeah.
And he had to sort of prove himself to them, but pretty quickly they put him in his place. So of all the roos we've got at the sanctuary, I think Hugo's probably one that I've got the closest bond with, and I think that's got a lot to do with his really outgoing personality. He's just got a lot of character, and he's always sort of jumping around and causing mischief around the sanctuary.
The challenge is if you have one lump, you just want to make sure you don't have two.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to great lengths to feel all over him there to make sure there's nothing else that shouldn't be there. Okay, I'm pretty comfortable there's not. What this clean bill of health for the rest of him means is that I can really now start to focus just on his ear. The logical thing is to try to get a needle in there and take a sample.
Yeah.
And that's at least going to start to narrow down the options in terms of what it could be.
For sure.
Hearing wheeze go. Buddy boy.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, 5-month-old Brian is in serious trouble. For besotted owners Ali and Matt, watching their beloved bulldog struggling to breathe is simply heartbreaking.
Little Brian just can't get air into his lungs. It's very hard to see. Even when he sleeps, he almost sleeps sitting down just so he can keep his head up, because he just can't get air into his lungs. So that tears me and Ali apart. Watching him just struggling to breathe is pretty tough.
But sadly, this has been a lifelong battle for the much-loved pup. He's been a patient at SASH since he was just a baby.
When we first got Brian, we had him for 3 weeks, and he seemed like just quite a normal puppy, and then after a little while he started to really have trouble breathing, and then he got a bit of a cold, and that's when we came to SASH, and they said he had pneumonia.
We were told that he didn't have a very good chance of surviving. You know, he was lucky to make it through, so we've been told to get him healthy again and bring him in here to fix his breathing troubles.
Hello guys, how you going?
Hey Steve,
I'm Steve.
How's things?
Hi Matt, hi Ali, how are you?
Good.
Hello Brian! Hello mate. He's a classy looking fella, isn't he? Come on in, let's have a look at him.
Come on mate.
Brian's had a pretty tough start in life. He saw us when he was a little puppy because he got pneumonia. So, and we identified then some problems with his upper airway, with the obstructive breathing and the narrow windpipe. So he's come back now to help correct some of the airflow problems in his upper airway. All right, Brian, let's have a look at you, my boy. So what does he do with his breathing?
Very, what would you call it?
Raspy.
Yeah, raspy.
Yep.
So he, as soon as he gets his heart rate up, you can just hear him struggling to breathe.
Can you? Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch actually.
Yeah, well, he's got what is very common in these breeds, and unfortunately what happens when you squash this nose in to make them what we call brachycephalic is that you basically concertina all of the structures in their nose and in the back of their throat.
Yep.
They're all pushed down, and one of the problems with that is right in here at the back of his throat, his soft palate gets elongated, and that causes obstruction to their airflow. And the other thing that we know from his x-rays that we saw when he had an episode of pneumonia when he was a puppy is that his windpipe is quite narrow, his trachea is quite narrow, and that makes his airflow dynamics, even more compromised for this poor little guy. So he's got a couple of things.
Unless something is done to help Brian, the much-loved bulldog risks suffering potentially life-threatening problems.
Dogs like Brian, as they get older, they can develop what we call laryngeal collapse, which is where the whole opening to the airway actually closes down, and that can be a real problem. All right, well, what we really need to do with Brian is do an operation on the back of his throat, and that will allow us to trim some of those redundant tissues that are pushing into his throat and obstructing the airflow.
Yeah, and that will really help improve his quality of life.
Yeah, that's right. So he's only a young dog now, he's got a long life to live, and if we can help his airflow through the back of his throat, then that will improve his quality of life quite measurably. So.
Excellent.
But let's take him out the back and get a bed ready for him, and then you guys can say goodbye so he can get ready for his operation today.
Okay.
Alrighty?
You ready?
Come on, let's go.
Hearing that he's got to have another surgery is pretty hard to handle. He was in here only a couple of months ago and nearly died. Now he's back here getting surgery done again. So yeah, we're pretty nervous about it, but it needs to be done.
It's a difficult goodbye for Matt and Ali, but they know surgery is the only option for Brian.
See you, bud. See you, buddy. See you, mate.
Hey, baby.
If we leave Brian, the risk is that he will develop the worsened stages of laryngeal collapse as he gets older. We're trying to prevent that from happening. Thanks, guys. Come on.
See ya. Bye.
Breathing's already obstructed and he's only very young. My feeling is that over time that could get worse. That's going to mean the quality of his life and his ability to interact with the family is going to be hampered. And we want to avoid that at all costs.
Come on, matey. Okay, so this is just to clean up the skin there.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is about to investigate what's inside a disturbing growth on the ear of red-necked wallaby Hugo.
So, I'm not sure if it's the right jab or the left hook I need to worry about, but let's just see how we go.
It's all right, I've got your back.
So I'm going right in the middle.
If I put the needle in and draw back pus, we're looking at an abscess. If I put the needle in and draw back not much at all, apart from just a bit of tissue, then I'm concerned, because that could indicate we've got a tumour in our hands.
Okay, immediately we're getting blood there, and quite a bit of it. Yeah, wow, okay, I did not expect that.
Boy.
All right, well.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a surprise. After the initial shock of seeing the blood in the syringe, all of a sudden, everything begins to make sense. Hugo has blood in his ear, an oral hematoma. How do you get an oral hematoma? Well, if you're a wallaby, it's from fighting. What does Hugo have a reputation for doing? It's getting these out. It's the same way a boxer gets a blood clot like that.
Yep.
I'd say he's copped a stray right hook. He's actually been boxing with one of those big red kangaroos and they've landed one on him.
Okay.
The thing is, we can't just leave a big blood clot like this in Hugo's ear. What happens over time is the fibrous tissue in the clot starts to tighten down like it does in a scab. When it does that, it really shrinks down all the tissue around it and really causes what is essentially a cauliflower ear. If that happens in Hugo's ear, it'll really render that ear useless for him, and ultimately he could become deaf as a result. So this little brawler has suddenly had his personality catch up with him.
Hey, it puts you in your place, mate.
Yeah. So really what I think we need to do is to get in there and remove that blood clot. Now, I obviously can't do that with him awake. What I need to do is to give him a sedation and make a little cut on his ear and see if we can actually pluck that clot out.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, if it's got to be done, definitely I want to make sure he's happy and healthy long term. So if it's going to affect him long term and he's going to lose that hearing, then ultimately I'd rather get on top of it now before it gets any worse. So.
Yeah.
Girls, good to go? Let's go.
At Sash, 5-month-old Brian is about to undergo a life-changing operation which will allow him to breathe easier.
Gonna go sleepy bays. Yeah?
Specialist surgeon Dr. Steve Fernside will be performing the procedure on the British Bulldog.
Our plan is to trim his soft palate to make it shorter, and there are also some little structures in the back of the throat called the laryngeal saccules, which usually fold into the opening of the larynx, and we'll probably trim those out as well. So we're just going to have a look down Brian's throat to start with.
This is the first chance Steve has had to see just how badly affected Brian's airway is. And he's shocked by what he's seen.
That is nice.
It's enormous. The normal soft palate should be at the back of the throat, but I can actually push it all the way down his throat, into his trachea, through his larynx. So it stretches an incredibly long way, far too long for a dog of this size. I reckon this is a palate of a Great Dane. It is huge.
The first step in opening up the Bulldog's airway will be to remove the small masses of soft tissue which are blocking the opening to his windpipe.
And there's one little laryngeal saccule. There's the other little saccule.
Now Steve can begin cutting out the massively overgrown soft palate.
So we're going to trim basically along here. Soft palate is incredibly thick and long, so as we go, we trim a bit off and then we stitch it so that it doesn't bleed and we get a nice neat sort of edge to it. Just going to keep cutting along here. So that's his soft palate there.
Blimey.
So that's about 2 or 3 inches longer than it should be. I think we've got that pretty good. Very good, in fact. That's nice and open now. Hopefully that'll make him breathe better. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, everybody, that's it. Brian's had his operation. That's all gone really well, but the challenges are not over yet.
All right, Brian.
Come on, Brian. It's really important now we watch Brian very closely, because if he vomits any food into the back of his throat and he can't swallow very well, or he's got a very sore throat, he could aspirate food and water into his lungs, and that can be life-threatening.
Something a little bit different.
Back at the Bondi Clinic, Hugo, the troublesome wallaby, has been sedated in readiness for surgery on his ear.
So, Hugo isn't aware of his size, but Hugo likes to use his fists for bad reasons.
Oh, well, everyone likes a bad boy.
Yeah, well, he's that.
Out in the waiting room, Hugo's keeper Ben is worried about his little mate.
There's a lot of risks involved in sedating a wildlife species, so I'm a little bit concerned, but it's got to be done, so yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
So that's another 9 mils I've managed to get out there, so that makes a total of 15 mils of blood that has come out of this ear of Hugo's. What we're really left with now inside his ear is essentially just blood clot. So this is the stuff that's going to cause him problems. Okay, I'll get all cleaned up myself and then get started. Hopefully what this surgery achieves is to remove the blood clot that's in there and also bring those layers of skin back together and seal them against the cartilage of the ear.
The challenge here is to incise into this blood clot without actually starting a whole lot of new bleeding. So I'm inside it now and it's very firm. I'm actually having to spin it around and really break down scar tissue. The more I can break up of this clot, the more chance we have of actually stopping this cauliflower ear from forming. We've got an area above it where there was the lump before. Now that's skin that's lifted off the cartilage. We need to really anchor that back onto the cartilage, otherwise it's a space that's just going to refill with blood. So in order to do that, I've got a little bit of a trick up my sleeve. Kind of literally up my sleeve, because what's up my sleeve is what I'm going to use.
The solution to this problem, it's not exactly high tech. In fact, most of us are carrying around the solution every day of our lives. The answer to all of Hugo's problems is buttons.
The ironic thing is, I can't put buttons back on my shirts. Hopeless at it. I can put buttons in animals' ears. Somehow it's different. The key to the buttons' success is the fact they really provide a flat surface that you can anchor onto the inside of that ear and attach in place. Once it's there, it makes sure the skin is firmly fixed to the cartilage. So the challenge is just getting it nice and firm, which it is. Okay, then we've got room for one more. So I'll just put that in that space there. Okay, so we've got 3 buttons in there. I'm pretty happy with how that's managing to really compress those layers of the ear together and prevent blood from filling in between there, which is ultimately what caused the whole problem to start with. The one thing I'm worried about is the fact that with those claws of his, he can actually get his foot up and push those buttons out. What I'm thinking is I'm really gonna have to bandage his ear just to stop that from happening. Okay, we are done. Let's wake him up. Now the procedure's all done, Hugo looks $1 million. It's time to wake him up and get him home. What have you done?
Now all the lovely lady wallabies will know who that hot piece of tail is.
Liesel's decided that the feminine touch is really the key to Hugo's future. I'm not so sure. It stands for hot man with buttons, right?
I was going for Hugo, but yeah, that's the other interpretation, of course.
Yep.
Keeper Ben has been waiting patiently for news of Hugo.
Yeah, definitely been watching the clock tick by. It's been almost an hour now and we haven't heard anything, so hopefully they'll be coming out soon with some good news, I hope.
So?
Oh no. Hey big boy.
Here he is.
How'd he go?
Look, he went really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came through the operation brilliantly.
Okay.
So he's just waking up now. I guess I've got him out to you a little bit earlier than we normally do.
Yeah.
Just so he is still a little bit sleepy when he goes home.
For the trip home? Yeah. Cool. Big surprise to see his ear all wrapped up like that. I love the little touch with the H and that was very nice. And great relief just to hear that the surgery went really well. I think we'll have to find him a girl one day.
Turn this fighter into a lover.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Chris. Really appreciate it.
No worries at all.
He'll be fine. I'll let you know how he goes.
It'd be great. And if we can see him in a couple of weeks for that, get those buttons back.
Great. Thank you very much.
Safe trip home, huh?
Thank you.
There's no doubt that Hugo goes home a lot more colourful than how he came in, but my hope is that he finds that special someone and his days of fighting are all over.
There's a good fella. Sit down, Brian. That's a good boy. All right, mate, let's have a bit of a look over you before Mum comes to pick you up, all right?
At Sash, 5-month-old bulldog Brian is showing no signs of having had a major throat operation.
It has been a couple of days now since Brian's surgery. He has recovered really well. What I'm going to do is just take a bit of a quick look over him and make sure that there aren't any problems that have developed during his recovery and give him a final health check before he gets home to Mum. Look down your throat. There's a good boy. Bit phlegmy, but not too bad. A couple of things that we were worried about with Brian was that he was going to get some swelling in the back of his throat or some bleeding after the surgery, and thankfully none of that has happened, and he's been able to recover smoothly and right to go home.
Devoted owner Ali is hoping Brian's surgery will give the bulldog a bright future.
We're hoping that now that he's had the surgery, he'll be able to breathe a lot better. And we're able to take him out for walks. Like, you want to see a dog that's active and happy and just have a better quality of life.
Come on, Brian. Good boy. Brian, come on, mate. Stops at the food stand on the way in. It was lovely to see Brian and Ali reunited after a worrying few days. But Brian's recovered really well, and hopefully he'll continue to improve from here.
He always reciprocates the smooch, don't you? Come here. already in Brian, like I can notice that his energy's better, his breathing heat's better, he just looks really bright and happy. So it's just nice to see that straight away. I didn't think it would be that quick.
I've got some medications here for you to go home with, similar to what he's on before, so you just need to continue with those for the next few weeks, and then we'll gradually reduce some of his dependence on those drugs, and then hopefully he won't need them in the long term, which would be terrific. So.
And then he'll just be perfect.
Yeah, he is perfect.
I know. You know, we're just so looking forward to having Brian at home and just seeing him happy, because we just want him to have a really good life and give him everything that he wants and just love him forever. So, yeah, we're excited that this will help him. Come on.
See you, Brian.
He's so happy. He wants to go home.
Brian has had a pretty tough few months. I mean, he's only 5 months old, but hopefully this is the beginning of a new future for Brian.
All right, let's go home. Come on, good boy.
20s. Oh, hello.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Good.
What a lovely surprise.
Yes, it is, and it's nice seeing you too.
Chris and his little helper Sandy are about to get their first case for the day.
Hang on, sorry, there's just a kitten.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Bridget and Paula are two real characters who live on the Sunshine Coast, devoting their lives to rescuing seabirds.
We just wanted to be in contact with you to see if you can fix our cormorant speak.
Okay. How's she feeling, you know?
I think she's roaring to go.
Yeah. The last time I saw the 20s was when I went up to treat someone very dear to them, Johnny the pelican.
Good luck, kiss. Yes, and you've been a little brat, but you've ended up being a beautiful pelican.
There's no doubt you'll never meet two people like this. Their passion and their desire to make every bird's life better, it's just inspiring. What's the story with the cormorant? So what?
Well, we've had Beak here for a few months.
Yeah.
And he's got a half the top of his beak missing.
Okay. Can you send me some photos?
Yes, we already have sent you some photos.
So they're in my email.
Yes.
Oh, here they are. Oh, wow. That's quite serious, 20s. When I first see those photos, it's hard not to be taken aback by what I'm looking at. The very fact this bird is still alive with a problem like this is remarkable, because out in the wild, they find it incredibly hard to survive, even just for a few days. That top beak there's really only about a third of it there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been ripped out. 20s, this isn't easy.
I know it's not easy, but that's why we've come to you, Dr. Chris, because you're the best.
Oh, you might have found something that's going to trip me up here. There's no doubt this is a tough one. I mean, fixing something that's broken is hard enough, but fixing something that's not even there, I mean, where do you begin? Well, see, I haven't seen one of these before, but I know someone that has.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And so potentially there might be something I can do.
We know that you can do it. We know. It's in our hearts that you can.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye. I mean, that is a tricky one. The beak is so important to a bird, and to have one that's missing essentially half or 2/3 of a beak, it's a big issue, but how do you say no to two of them? One maybe, but two? Not a chance. Right, let's get to work.
Come on. Scooby sick? Yeah.
Nicole, husband Jerry and daughter Kira have arrived at the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH with their 7-year-old Labrador Scooby.
We brought Scooby in just because he's having some issues sort of walking, playing in the park, getting up the stairs. It's just not being himself. I'm hoping it's nothing too serious, but we'll wait and see. Be gentle with Scooby. Oh, that's sweet, darling.
They're hoping Dr. Lisa Chimes will be able to provide some much-needed answers.
Hello, Lisa, how are you? Good, how are you? Good. Look at you. I know. 7.5 months along, feeling the same. I was going to say, it's looking about the same.
Scooby, it's nice to see you too, buddy. You don't look very sick.
No, he's a Labrador.
Bring him through. Let's
All right,
have a
beautiful.
chat. Come on, Scoob.
All right, buddy.
As soon as I see Scooby, he's wagging his tail and he's rolling on his back. He doesn't seem like he's in any pain at all. But then again, he's a Labrador.
Good boy. You come in here. That's it.
Oh, wait, take a seat. I'll take a seat as well.
We'll both sit down.
We both need to sit in our current state.
All right, Scooby, you sit down too,
Hey,
Bubba.
Mr. Scoobs, what's been going on?
So he seems to be having some issues with one of his back legs.
Okay.
So we've been taking him down the park, kind of chucking the ball, and now when he comes back, he's sort of limping. We get home, he seems to be really stiff.
Okay. So let's have a look at him. I want to get him outside, see him walking around, see what he can do, and then we'll bring him back in here and take a look.
Okay.
All right. Come on, Scoobs. Go for a little walk. Even though at first glance Scooby looks okay, Nicole tells me that he's really not himself. I really need to take a look at him, get him to run around and see if I can see it for myself. All right, Scoobs.
All right, darling.
You've got to show
You
me
ready?
what's going on.
You going to show Lisa what's happening? Do you want this? Do you want this? All right, you ready?
Run. Okay, I see what you mean. He's got a little hop going on there. He's sort of hobbling back a little bit. I mean, it's not an obvious limp, but there's definitely some sort of abnormality going on in the back legs. He's definitely got a bit of a bunny hop when he runs. He's swaying his back legs. He's not moving them in the way they should be. Good boy, Scoobs.
Surely the twinnies aren't that hard to find. They're always going to be with the birds.
After a plea for help from the twinnies, Chris has travelled to the Sunshine Coast to see what he can do for badly injured cormorant Beaky.
Hello.
Hello, Chris.
How are you?
Good.
Guessing this is for me?
That's right.
The twinnies are like old friends now. I've tried to find a difference between the two in the past and I've failed. And this time, looking at them, they're still absolutely identical. How are you, Bridget?
I'm Paula.
Good. How are you? I'm sure you just say it the other way
No,
around.
Thomas, I'm
I got it wrong?
Bridget. Yes.
Every single time I do this, I always get it wrong. Maybe they're just messing with my mind. I pride myself in getting that right.
50-50.
I'm better than that. I'm going to get it right every single time now. Okay, now where's Beaky?
You can be able to
Oh,
see
there he
him
is.
as you get close.
Yeah, I can see from here. At the back there.
Yes.
Bridget and Paula are currently caring for a number of injured seabirds, but it's a cormorant missing half his beak that's the reason for the SOS to Chris.
It's quite beautiful, isn't he?
The twinnies were shocked when they first saw Beaky after he was found washed up at a nearby beach resort.
He's just one lucky bird. I reckon in a week's time he wouldn't have made it.
So obviously he can't feed naturally with that beak there like that, can he?
Like when he does, he struggles picking it up.
So he strikes at it,
and
but
misses
there's no
it.
hook on the end, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then all the other birds get it before he.
A cormorant really relies on their beak for every minute of every day of their lives. It's almost like the Swiss Army knife of bird beaks. If I can't come up with a solution for Beaky's beak, then he can't feed for himself, he can't defend himself, and he can't keep himself free of parasites. Okay, well, let's go in for a closer look. Can you guys maybe cover that side there? Just hold there and we'll come around this way. Beaky senses very early on that he's the one I have my sights on. He's trying to avoid the corner, but I've blocked off both exits. Now's my time to move in.
He's passed.
Yeah. I just couldn't scoop up against that net there. Beaky is away and scampers to the far end of the enclosure, somehow looking a bit more confident than he was before. Now he knows what I'm up to here. Beaky goes one way, I anticipate it, go that way, block that path, then he goes the other way, the net comes down, we have Beaky. But what about you?
He's got beautiful eyes.
He does, and he's using both of them on me right now.
This is the first time I've actually seen the beak close up in real life. And I mean, there's a kind of a jagged stump there. Okay, well, let's get him inside.
Yes.
And we'll have a proper look at this beak. And then from there, we'll see what we can do.
Yes.
This is a really good example of how photos sometimes don't do a true situation justice. Because looking at this beak now, the base of it is actually quite jagged. And now I've seen just how narrow and how pointed this beak is. Wow, we're right up against it.
So I'm just looking around the base of this beak here. If you look, importantly, we've still got our nostrils there.
Oh, yeah.
Little airway openings are still intact. It's telling us that we do have a relatively healthy tissue here.
That's good.
But the problem is, the beak isn't showing any signs of growing back.
With no noticeable beak growth on Beaky's top beak, it ultimately falls down to me to come up with some sort of solution to replace that entire top beak. How do you do that? I hope I know, but I'm not sure I know.
Oh, poor darling.
All right, Scoops. I'm going to have a feel of your legs because I definitely think it's the back legs that's causing the problem.
Scooby has been brought into Sash because he's having trouble with his back legs.
Oh, he doesn't like those hips being moved back. He's still wagging his tail, but he's definitely resisting me when I'm trying to extend his hips back. Oh, sweetie, got a bit sore there.
Hey?
Hey? Do you have a feel of the other side? All right, you want to lie down for this side?
Yeah, go on, down.
Lie down. Good boy, Scooby. The rest of the legs feel all right. He's not reacting in any way. It's just when I get to his hips.
Okay.
He really doesn't like me extending them back. I can't really give you any more information now without taking some x-rays. And that's the way we're going to work out what's going on here.
Okay.
Okay?
No problems.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, pup.
All right. Let's go. Even though Scooby's not showing a lot of pain, I can tell when I move his hips that he doesn't like it. There's definitely something going on here, and the x-rays are going to give me some more information. All right, Scooby-Doobs. Can you sit down, sweetie pie? You sit down. Scooby, drop. Scooby, drop. I'm going to give him an anaesthetic so we can position him properly, and hopefully I'll have some more information. A little bit cold, Scoobs. That's the way, honey. Good boy, Scooby. We get some x-rays of you.
Do you want me to hold that?
Out in reception, it's a nerve-wracking wait for results for owner Nicole and her family.
Hopefully it won't be too long. We'll know soon. Yeah. He's a Labrador, so I always knew there was a risk in terms of hip problems. I mean, I'd love it not to be too serious, but yeah, I am worried.
All right, Scooby. Let's see what's going on. Oh. Scooby's hips don't look good at all. I'm pretty concerned. I'm going to get Andrew, one of our surgeons, to have a look, see what he thinks. 10.
Before we get too excited by any potential fix to his problem, I do want to make sure that he's up to it.
Yes.
And that he is strong and he is healthy.
Yes.
On the Sunshine Coast, Chris wants to give Beaky a full health check before tackling the cormorant's beak problem.
Oh, poor darling.
His heart rate sounds all right. Certainly strong.
Strong.
His breath sounds are nice and clear.
So everything's feeling and sounding good internally, but just as I'm holding Beaky, something jumps out at me. Literally jumps out at me.
Oh, there it is. Oh, and there's one there, Bridget. It's going up into the hair.
Oh yeah, I'm now crawling with lice. Because guess who gave them to me? Beaky.
You know, I've got a lot in common, you know, Beaky. Look at these lice though. I mean,
yes.
That's the problem with not having that beak to comb through your feathers, isn't it? Look at all those.
Right.
Each one of these lice is going to start to draw upon his reserves.
Yes.
So
Let's treat them right away.
Beaky's lice problem is easily fixed, but now the pressure is on for Chris to come up with a solution for the missing beak.
Really, the shape of this beak is my biggest challenge because it is very long and it's very skinny. When you have something like that, it's not very able to withstand forces. It can very easily snap, just like the original one did.
Yes.
So far I've been really careful to make sure I haven't got the 20s' hopes up unnecessarily, but obviously I came up here with a plan. It is going to sound pretty bizarre, and I'm just hoping right now the 20s are going to be up for it. So, I guess the inspiration for my idea comes from when I was a boy.
Yes.
And one of my first memories is of Percy the pelican.
Oh, wow.
And he lost his beak in a very similar way to the way Beaky has. And what my dad did when I was a boy was actually got one of the local surfboard manufacturers to make a completely artificial beak out of fiberglass.
Wow.
And it was then attached to Percy's beak and eventually he was released back to the wild.
Wow.
So using that as a bit of a guide as to what can work,
Yeah. How does this feel?
I've got this.
Wow.
So this is a surfboard repair kit.
Yes.
And inside it, we've got some foam. So what we need to do is create a little sliver of beak out of foam. This is just a basic guide.
Yes.
Triangular in shape, bit of a curve on the top, and then nice and long.
Yes.
Making the beak just the right shape, that's not going to be simple, but right now my biggest concern is how I get something that small to stay in place. This is so skinny, I can't run anything else down the middle of that. And if you look here, the moment I put any force on the end of it, there's just no strength. And ultimately I'm worried that at the first time he tries to fish back in the wild,
Yes.
he's just going to break it.
Yes.
It's not strong enough.
Yeah.
And that's why, all of a sudden, I'm having really big doubts as to what we can do here. Given all the hope and expectation that I can feel in the room right now, the last thing I want to do is let the 20s down. But this plan clearly isn't working. I'm racking my brain trying to think of what I can do next.
All right, these are Scooby's x-rays.
Yowza.
Yeah.
At Sash, Labrador Scooby has just had x-rays of his hips, and it's not good news.
It's terrible.
It's so much worse than what I was expecting.
Yeah, that's, oh gosh.
Lisa has called in specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky.
There's no normal hip left there in either side. He's been putting up with that for years, and
That's been a slow process for many years.
yeah, I mean, it's chronic pain, and they will deal with it. But I wouldn't want to have those hips. And I think there's only one way you can fix that. I think he needs a total hip replacement.
Hoping you wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Nicole adores Scooby. He's like her first child and she would do anything to make him happy. So no matter how hard this is going to be for her, she wants what's best for Scooby.
All right, so take a seat and I'll go through the results with you.
Okay.
Okay. Scooby's hips are not good.
Right.
All right. He has got severe degeneration of his hip joints.
Okay.
And one of the hips in particular is almost bone grating on bone.
Okay.
And the only thing that we will be able to do to give him relief would be a hip replacement.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that sounds like a big deal, and it
job.
is a big job.
Yep.
It's the only thing we can do for him to give him relief.
Okay. All right. I don't like the fact of him going through the huge surgery. I mean, it's, a Labrador uses the hips big time in terms of running and stuff, so kind of breaks my heart a bit, but has to be done, so I'm happy to have it done.
So let's start with the one, because it is huge surgery, and we're not going to do both together.
Okay.
Do the one, see how he goes, and then reevaluate.
Oh, poor puppy. All right.
I'm trying to rack my brain at the moment to think of materials that we can put in there that are going to be strong enough, but also lightweight enough
to do that job.
On the Sunshine Coast, Chris is struggling to come up with a solution to repair Beaky the cormorant's missing top beak.
There's obviously no doubt we're all on the same page. We want a solution for Beaky, but at the moment, the pressure's really on me to come up with it.
How do we get a fake beak made out of fiberglass or made out of some other material to be as strong as the real deal? You know, I almost need a real beak to actually create an artificial beak, because the real beak's doing the job already.
Well, actually, we've got one cormorant in the freezer. He passed away about a week ago, and he was starved to death and he died on arrival.
So it was one you couldn't help out?
Yes, right, it was too late.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is typical Bridget and Paula to magically have a potential solution up their sleeve. It's certainly out there, but at the same time, I'm confident that with a bit of tinkering, I can make this work.
Certainly the same size.
Yeah.
Looking at this beak here, at the very least, it's something I can use as a model.
Yes, that's right.
To create something for Beaky.
Yes.
But again, why try to change what nature's already designed? This is kind of a little bit out there. Maybe we don't need to make a model at all. Maybe we can actually use the beak.
I guess it's not too different to organ donation in people. While it's obviously sad that this cormorant didn't make it through his recovery, I guess the upside is the fact that his life might actually end up saving Beaky's life.
Okay, I'm excited because we may have a beak we can use.
Yes.
We'll get Beaky to the vet clinic.
Yes.
And then hopefully attach an artificial beak
Yes.
to Beaky.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Hey, Christina, right? Hey, how you going? Good to see you. You know the twinnies? We've got Beaky here.
It's just a 10-minute drive to the nearby Nickel and Way Vet Clinic, where Chris is going to attempt to attach the donor beak to Beaky.
Obviously, I wouldn't have come here without a plan. I've certainly got an idea in my head, and I'm hoping it'll work in reality.
What are you going to do?
Okay, so I'm going to use the pin and drive into the base of this existing beak here.
Yes.
And then from there we're going to have to join that with some glue and then try to form some sort of seal over the top of it.
Yes.
With the twinnies reassured,
good boy,
Chris can now begin to prepare the donor beak.
I've marked on Beaky's donor beak exactly where I need to cut. You've got to remember this beak isn't just an ornament, it's actually a highly functional piece of a bird's anatomy. And for Beaky, he's going to use it to preen himself, he's also going to use it to fish. If it's the wrong length, then all those functions just go out the window.
So the single pin, I reckon if we push that right down the middle.
The only place where this beak seems to have strength is on the outside. That's where the hardest tissue sits. But also, where the beak narrows to a point, that's where the two edges meet. That is where I'm going to have to aim now.
Yep, it's now anchoring. Now, I reckon what we do is secure that in place with some drops of tissue glue.
Yeah.
Going good.
That was awesome.
Let's have a look at our patient.
That looks pretty good.
It does. I'm happy with the level of that. I think the key is going to be flattening that right off and drilling a hole back through this supporting part. All right, let's get him ready for anaesthetic.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's get him in.
So much time and expertise has gone into the construction of this artificial beak that I should feel confident. I should know that it's going to be strong enough. But right now, I wonder, geez, is it up to the job? All right, let's get to work.
All right, all ready?
Yeah, I'm all ready.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks.
You're special. I
Scooby,
told you
yeah,
he's my special patient, so look after
No
him.
pressure, right?
At SASH, Labrador Scooby's hip replacement is underway, and Dr. Andrew Marchevsky is about to join the surgical team.
All right, Scooby, let's see what we can do.
Hip surgery really is a team effort. You need 3 surgeons in there knowing exactly what they've got to do, so each part of the surgery goes well. And you know, if we slip up at any stage, that's a disaster for Scooby.
Andrew is assisting fellow specialist surgeon Dr. Steve Fernside.
Alrighty.
Their first task is to remove Scooby's old hip joint.
There it is.
Whoa, look at that.
We've just taken his femoral head off, which is sort of the ball, part of the ball and socket joint. This now gives us access to the actual cup, and so we're going to have to ream that out and we'll put an artificial cup in there or an artificial socket. So that's the next part of the surgery. Oh, that's good. So that's the new socket that we're going to put into the hip. It's essentially a press fit. So we're going to put it in position and then hammer it into place. So there's no cement or anything. It's just going to sit there by friction between the actual new socket and the old bone. This is quite a brutal surgery, but it actually has to be really precise. So making sure that cup is at just the right angle, because if it's off by a little bit, he could easily dislocate after surgery, and that's the last thing we want for Scooby.
24 hours ago, Scooby was really struggling with his bad hips.
Oh, sweetie, got a bit sore there.
It's hoped he'll be able to run and play like a normal 7-year-old once the surgical team gives him a brand new ball and socket joint.
So that's Scooby's new ball for his ball and socket joints. We're just going to put this on the end of that stem and we're going to slide that into his new socket. This can be a bit of a struggle because we actually want the hip to be really tight. Almost there. That's it. There we go.
There you go.
No, it's spot on. Got to be happy with that.
With the surgery complete, it's a relief for Andrew and the team, but they can't rest easy just yet.
So now we've got to get him into x-ray so we can take some x-rays and see how we put these implants in, you know, how accurate we've been with them, because that's going to be really important. How we're looking in that position's good. It's parallel to the thigh bone, that's what we want. This cup looks nice, so looks like all the implants are in the right position. They're all angled how we want them, so that means we've minimised the risk of us having any complications. So I'm pretty happy with how that's gone.
He's a good boy.
All right, everything's set, that's there.
At the Nicklin Way Clinic on the Sunshine Coast, Chris is preparing to attach an artificial top beak to rescue cormorant Beaky.
Hey Beaky, good luck little fella. The time has come and you're going to have a new transformation to your beak. We are feeling a little nervous, but we know that Dr. Chris can do it. We'll be doing that when you wake up. Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Hey, no worries. No pressure on.
The devoted twinnies are anxiously watching Chris's every move as he begins anaesthetising Beaky.
Here we go. I know only too well that wild animals and anaesthetics aren't always a great combination. So today, we're just going to have to be so vigilant. We have to make sure Beaky doesn't go too deep or too light under anaesthetic. So what I'm trying to do here is just square off this beak. The replacement beak is nice and square where it's going to join on to Beaky. We're getting a little bit of blood flow coming out here, which is actually a good sign, showing we've got nice healthy tissue right to the end.
With the beak stump now tidy, Chris can begin drilling the small hole where the pin will sit.
Let's see how the fit is. Okay, that's pretty good. I think we'll actually drill in some holes on either side of the beak and actually run some sutures in there. This is a job that has to last, so it may seem like I'm going to extreme lengths with pins, with sutures, but really we can't take any chances. Once Beaky goes back to the wild, he's on his own and he has to have a beak that he can depend on.
That's good.
Yeah, give them a little tug. Now, I've just been thinking, we're still going to have room for rotation.
Yeah.
The fact is, right now, we need even more strength. The only way to get more strength is to fiberglass the beak. What we need is something that's actually going to set and harden almost immediately. The only thing I know that does that is something that surfboard shapers use. Is there any way you could call up anyone around here? It's the Sunshine Coast, surely there's a board shaper around here.
We can definitely do that.
Thankfully, there's a local in the room. We are on the Sunshine Coast. This is one of the great homes of surfing in Australia. So of course, there are surfboard shapers everywhere. Christina happens to know two of them, a father and son team who live just around the corner. We need some glassing done on the outside here.
Yeah.
And the quickest setting stuff you've got.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Mark and Mitch are free and jump at the chance to help out. But this isn't their normal kind of job.
Alright, it's going to go off real quick.
Okay, so I'll hold that in position. You can go about a centimetre either side. These are guys that normally work on mouths that can be 10 or even 11 foot long. So this is easily the smallest surfboard they've ever worked on.
If it stays together, it'll have just as much strength as a normal surfboard, so.
It'll stay together. We get one chance at this. If it all goes wrong, it's going to be very hard to pick up the pieces and start again. You happy with it setting?
No.
Really? I would probably just wait a bit more, probably 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. Yep. Just when today couldn't look any weirder, all of a sudden it's decided that Beaky needs to go outside, get a hit of UV light as the final step to harden up that fiberglass. Is that enough?
Yeah, it's looking good.
We've got a lot of fiberglass on there. We've got the pins on the inside plus the wires along the sides. For the first time really in days, I'm all of a sudden feeling pretty positive about Beaky's situation. Okay, that's nice and hard there. Let's wake him up.
Yeah, let's wake him up.
Here we go. Here, buddy. Okay. Incredible. I could never have hoped that it would work out this well. It's just beautifully aligned. If you look the way it sits there, I mean, it's millimetre perfect. Come on in, girls. What do you think? You happy with that?
Yes. We're terrible for teas, I'm sorry, but they're happy teas.
I could never have thought that when I was a 5-year-old looking at a pelican with a fiberglass beak, that one day I'd emulate my dad's idea with a bit of a twist on a cormorant. But right now, I couldn't be more proud. This is a case and a patient I think I'll never forget.
Back at Moore Park in southeast Sydney, Lisa is having a day off from her sash duties
We're all here for the same reason, and that's because we love our dogs.
and is on hand with expert advice about pets.
You need to think about your lifestyle. Do you have time for a dog?
Suddenly, there seems to be an emergency at the sash stand.
The next 24 hours are crucial.
What's happened? A bleeder? Oh no, have you got some swabs? There you go.
Under Lisa's careful guidance, the aspiring young vets are taking good care of their patient.
Flush it just away. There are so many young kids that want to become vets one day. So here at the sash stand, we're giving them a little taste of what it's like behind the scenes. Good job. Is the anaesthetic stable? Yeah?
It looks like Fluffy will pull through.
Looking good. You controlled the bleeding.
The annual Dog Lovers Show is one of the largest events in the world dedicated to dogs.
What better place is there to be?
Hello, Beaky. Yes. Oh, yeah. You got a weapon now, don't you?
The next day, Chris is back with the twinnies, checking up on Beaky.
Really happy there are no cracks in any of that fiberglass there. It's nice and smooth, so you won't catch it or anything.
Oh, yes.
Of course, I'm incredibly proud of this result. If we can keep Beaky healthy And using that beak and building up the confidence with it, there's no reason why he can't be released in a few weeks' time. 4 weeks. We'll see you then. And 20s?
Yes.
4 weeks?
Yes.
I'll see you then.
I'll
see you soon.
Yeah. And thank you so much.
You're so sweet. That's so good. This hasn't just been a test of my veterinary abilities, it's also been a big test for my emotions, and the 20s as well. And this goodbye really says exactly what we've all been through. There are tears, but there's also hope and optimism that in a few weeks' time, Beaky gets to go home. Take care.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Scooby, hey, can we take a look at you? Huh? Hi, sweetie pie. Come on.
Labrador Scooby has spent the last few days at Sash, recovering from his hip replacement.
Do you want to get out and show me how you can walk? Huh? All right, Scoops. Slowly, 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 slowly.
Dr. Lisa Chimes is giving
Slowly.
Scooby one last check, and then it's home time.
I know you want to just go running.
It's only been a few days after Scooby's surgery and already he's putting weight on that leg. He seems comfortable and happy, and this is exactly what I want him to be doing.
Good boy, buddy. That's the way. Doing so well. What a good boy. Hey, look how good you're doing. Look at that. I am so impressed. I'm so impressed. Yes. Your mummy's going to be very happy too.
Owner Nicole has never been away from Scooby before and is desperate to take her special boy home.
Not having Scooby home has been quite sad, really. It's been quiet, lonely, very still. I always say not having a dog to come home to and greet you at the door every night doesn't feel like you're coming home.
Let's go. Let's go. He's a good boy.
This is really just the beginning of Scooby's recovery. This boisterous chocolate Labrador is going to have to be rested in a crate for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Now that is going to be a challenge for Scooby and poor Nicole. Hello.
Hi there, puppy. Don't get too excited, don't get too excited. Oh, hello, puppy boy. I know.
As soon as Scooby sees Nicole, he breaks out into song. He's howling, he's talking, he's saying, "Mummy, I'm feeling good and I want to go home."
Thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
No Good luck. You too.
Good luck with the pregnancy and the birth.
You too.
I'll see you later. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
Come on, bub. Oh.
Perfect day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Perfect day.
And a month after performing a beak transplant on a rescued cormorant, Chris is back in Queensland for one final visit.
It's hard to believe that after everything we've been through, we're finally here. This is the day Beaky's getting released. Recognise this little face?
Oh, wow, look at him. Little Beaky. Oh, how awesome is that?
Beaky is being released at Tangalooma Island Resort on Moreton Island, where he was originally found washed ashore by Eco Ranger Susan.
Bit different to the last time you saw him, huh?
Yeah, he was just so skinny and he just had that very small beak.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is so amazing.
All right, well, I think it's time. Beaky has his little face pressed up against the mesh of his carry bag. Clearly, this day is something he's also been looking forward to. That beak is as solid as it was the day we did it.
That's right.
And so given that, he's cleared for takeoff.
Yes.
This day is one of my true highlights as a vet, but even though it means so much to me, I know for the 20s, they've put in so many hours, so truly, this moment belongs to them.
When you've been back out here, this is Dr. Chris. No. You got a second chance of life.
See you, buddy. You're with them now. Looking around the beach, it's almost as though the rest of the cormorants know that one of their own is coming home. Okay. You let him go.
was a very emotional because we thought there was no hope for him to be released back to the wild.
Hey guys, remember me? He's going straight for the water.
Yes.
He does look genuinely thrilled though.
Yes.
Everything about his movement is just excitement.
Yes.
This is exactly why you take the chances that you do, why you believe in an idea, because sometimes magic happens. And for me, and I'm sure the 20s, the magic is in seeing Beaky rush towards that water, just with absolute delight in his eyes. He's home.